Hey everyone, welcome to our channel, and thank you for your support. If there's a favorite novel on the channel and you want the next part, you're just one step away. Become a Patreon member and I can make it depending on your tier. Thank you for your attention.
Impossible, absolutely impossible. Fury said word by word. The small island country of Sakura belongs to the Earth. It is absolutely impossible to give it to an alien to control. The attitude is extremely firm, but also understandable. After all, this is a change of ownership of a country. Fury, I really said yes, after that. Zhuge Lan used similar reasons to ask for other countries. So what should he do? Here's the bottom line: pity. Zhuge Lan can understand, but he doesn't intend to ignore it. His face darkened, squinting at Fury. Issue an ultimatum. This is what we have found out about the agreed deal. Are you sure you want to go back on your word? Fury didn't speak. But it can be seen that his will has not wavered in the slightest. It's just that I don't want to just tear my skin apart like this and hurt both sides. Natasha Romanoff comes forward. I also want to hold Zhuge Lan's arm. Act like a baby to ease the atmosphere. With a wave of Zhuge Lan's hand, he was sent flying with Susanoo's bone arm. She flew 10 meters away, rolled in the air, landed and slid a few meters. That's enough to stop castration. Fear after detection, big move point plus 1111. It wasn't her who reacted quickly just now, and used her ingenuity to remove most of the strength. It must be impossible to get up now, Zhuge Lan. He doesn't think of a day's favor at all. He is really ruthless. Men are talking about things here. What's the matter with you women? Zhuge Lan scolded. If there is a next time. There will be no next time. Then he ignored Natasha Romanoff and looked at Fury again. I hate people who don't keep their promises the most in my life. Now you have two choices. Either according to the agreement. The island under my feet belongs to me. Either I can't get it, then I will destroy it. You have a minute to think about it. This is the limit of my patience. Finished. Zhuge Lan directly opened the Susanoo. Took Louise and Kisilius and flew into the sky. The sword of Susanoo is drawn out, full of pressure. There is no room for relaxation at all. Anger is detected, big move point plus 1999. Self-blame is detected, big move point plus 2999. Fury is blaming himself now, when it was originally agreed. I was too anxious to solve the problem of space. Why didn't I notice this text trap? As for whether Zhuge Lan did this on purpose, it doesn't make any sense to think about this now. Promise Zhuge Lan. A country with the third economy in the world was just handed over to aliens. And his shield director was done. It was also a bad start. In the future, Zhuge Lan may not know what more excessive demands will be made. But if you don't agree, boom boom. Two sonic boom clouds swooped down from the sky. Superman Clark and female Superman Kayla. The two cousins fell in front of Susanoo to Zhuge Lan. Lan, I don't want to fight with you, Clark said in a deep voice. What is the difference between wanting to occupy a human country as a private territory and declaring war? I really want to fight with you, Zhuge Lan said with a smile. This is the condition agreed before. How can there be any reason to regret it later? You're playing with words, Clark frowned. At the beginning, you said that you chose an island as your base for the sake of peace. The small island country of Sakura has a population of more than 100 million people. How can you be quiet? This is a loophole only. Reasonable? Does he seem reasonable? The place is too big, I can't take care of it by myself. There must be some people to clean it, Zhuge Lan said. The reasons are tough, but his attitude is natural. Clark is also a little angry. Zhuge Lan is determined. Seeing a stalemate in the communication between the two, Kayla stepped forward a little to ease the atmosphere. Hi, my name is Kayla and I'm Clark's cousin. Kayla's eyes were bright and her smile was like a flower. Before you came into conflict with the Prime Minister, we noticed it when we were absorbing light energy in space. The discharge of nuclear wastewater from the small island country of Cherry Blossom is obviously not up to the standard. The radiation in the surrounding high seas has exceeded the standard visible to the naked eye. To be honest, I don't think it is necessary to conflict with you for such a small country. I've seen them upset for a long time. So I don't care about this matter. We can sit down and talk later when we have a chance. I am very interested in your experience. Winking at Zhuge Lan, Kayla turned around and flew away. Clark was left with a confused expression. Ah, this. I thought you came here because you wanted to fight side by side with me. Why did you leave, haha? Zhuge Lan said with a smile, your sister is much more interesting and knowledgeable than you. I like it very much, harem target +1. Zhuge Lan, your sister is much more interesting and knowledgeable than you. I like it very much, Clark. Depressed emotions detected, big move point +1099. But he still stopped in front of Susanoo and did not intend to evacuate. This successfully aroused Zhuge Lan's anger. The small island country of cherry blossoms discharged nuclear sewage. The spies don't know how many people have been killed. You don't care about it, now I'm going to take care of it. But you came to stop me instead. Is this what you call protection? Clark shook his head. The issue of nuclear sewage is a game between countries. The humans themselves don't stop them. And I don't plan to intervene, this sentence. Jean was relieved by God. Louise, a little confused, cautiously said, that. Why is it a game between countries? Clark glanced at Louise and saw that Zhuge Lan didn't stop her. It also explained. The small island country of Sakura said that it is directly discharged into the sea, which is the most cost-effective way to deal with nuclear wastewater. But in fact, if it is mixed with cement and poured into concrete and buried deep underground, the overall cost will not exceed 30 billion yen. The small island country of Sakura has spent more than 50 billion US dollars for public relations and public opinion. Not to mention the cost of discharging nuclear wastewater. So the so-called economic efficiency is just an excuse. It is a foregone conclusion that the small island country of cherry blossoms will be polluted by nuclear wastewater, which has also caused many items in their country to be rejected by countries all over the world. They are using the discharge of nuclear sewage to drag the world into this quagmire, so that no one will dislike anyone. Shock emotion detected, big move point +2399. Louise's eyes widened. Co-authored. Behind the discharge of nuclear sewage, there is such a layer of darkness. On the surface, Sakura Kajima looked polite. But the heart is so dirty behind the scenes. Originally, she planned to persuade Zhuge Lan. But now she has completely lost that idea. It's a disgusting nation at the expense of others. Zhuge Lan sneered. Since you keep saying that you don't want to intervene in the game between countries, then let us listen to the voices of people all over the world. Zhuge Lan put away Susano's sword and descended with Louise and Caecilius. Boom, standard Gia-style landing. Huge amounts of mass fell on the ground, stirring up countless dust. Fury and Natasha Romanoff on the ground felt that the ground was shaking. Fortunately, they are all ace agents, so it's not as embarrassing as falling down only. Their complexions are extremely ugly. This is a downtown area. Although Zhuge Lan landed in an open space, the impact and damage caused were also huge amounts of. The teleportation door opened in a flash, and Zhuge Lan stepped out abruptly. Chong Fury said, arrange a live broadcast for me. And force pop-up windows on all devices that can receive the signal. Hold a referendum, people of your planet, to decide the fate of this nation. Fury shuddered. This matter still need to vote. I didn't see how many parades were held even by Sakura Kajima itself because of the discharge of nuclear wastewater. Their own citizens do not support their own country. What about the people of other countries? But Clark, who was watching from the side, acquiesced to the proposal. And Fury had no choice but to arrange for someone to handle it. Deny now, Zhuge Lan could run away on the spot. And depending on the situation, Clark might not be able to help. It's better to use this to delay for some time and see if you can come up with a better countermeasure. And let him gather the Avengers and the army for the worst possible outcome. Quickly, the global live broadcast was set up. And Zhuge Lan pulled Clark to appear in the live broadcast room. Let's talk about your analysis just now. Zhuge Lan said with a smile, definitely I can also talk about it. How dare Clark let Zhuge Lan speak, given his current fame? Many idiotic fans would simply side with him without thinking. I can only repeat the analysis just now since then. With the Superman platform, the sinister intentions of the small island nation of Sakura were thus brought to a conclusion. Zhuge Lan took a step forward at the right time. With a smile on his face just appear. His big move is to skyrocket like a rocket. This should be regarded as an internal problem of your planet. An alien should not interfere. I really can't stand what the country is doing. Today is the start of a referendum. And everyone can come together to decide the future of this country. Raise your hand. Several options will pop up in the live broadcast room. A. This is a game between countries. We have no right to interfere. B. The small island country of Cherry Blossom has its own heart. And must stop the discharge of nuclear waste water. Apologize to the whole world. And compensate for the corresponding losses. C. There is no need for this country to exist anymore. Destroy him directly. D. We don't trust the so-called upper echelon. In order to prevent the small island country of Sakura from secretly discharging. Please Zhuge Lan to come forward to solve this problem. 4 options, 4 directions. The barrage in the live broadcast room exploded on the spot. Very good, finally someone can sanction them. I am a whaler from the small island country of Sakura. I lost my job because of the discharge of nuclear wastewater. I must choose B. Whalers, you are not a good person either. Accurately speaking, this country is full of vices. It is better to destroy humanity. I have already chosen C. From Huasheng, choose D without thinking. He came from the universe country. So he chose D without thinking. Ziba. I only trust my brother. Those wine bags and rice bags are unbelievable at all. Choose D. Same election, same election. At the same time, on Zhuge Lan's system prompt. Someone who was not a superhero finally appeared. Zhuge Lan is interested. She opened the system panel to check the names of these people. Then report it to Natasha Romanoff and ask her to look it up. Discover. These people are all because of nuclear wastewater discharge. People who have had a major impact. Job loss, terminal illness and more. Zhuge Lan nodded knowingly it seems. As long as you can find the emotional point. Even ordinary people can provide high-quality big moves. It's a new discovery. Seeing the soaring points of the big move. Zhuge Lan was in a happy mood, suddenly. Louise pulled Zhuge Lan's arm and handed the tablet in front of him. A. 57 124 B. 4 789 541 C. 877 884. D. 79 845 212 0. In just a few minutes, so many people have voted. Although option A has more than 50,000 votes, it is not even a fraction of the other 3 options. It seems that there are more normal people. Option C is also visible to the naked eye. Only options B and D are the choices of most people. And option D is a big score, far ahead of option B. The result is already doomed. Zhuge Lan looked at Clark and shrugged, look. People on their planet would rather believe in an alien. They no longer believe in their own kind. Clark was silent. He doubted himself a little. Is the so-called persistence correct? If he had chosen to intervene in the first place, the discharge of wastewater and wastewater would not be allowed. Would it be a better choice? He is lost. Doubtful emotions detected, big move point plus 1099. Doubtful emotions detected, big move point plus 1099. Doubtful emotions detected, big move point plus 1099. One look, yo all Clark, it seems that this matter. The blow to him is still a bit big at this time. Fury walked over, his face as black as ink, just now. The Security Council sent the latest instruction. Shut down the discharge of nuclear wastewater. And you can divide part of the Cherry Blossom Island country as your private territory. The specific location of the division can be discussed later. Look, he compromised. There was force suppression by Zhuge Lan before. Then there was a storm of public opinion all over the world. Even those high-ranking bigwigs in the Security Council had to make compromises. But ask Zhuge Lan for his opinion, hech. Zhuge Lan sneered. Since I said it's the island under my feet, it's all of it. Not part of it, 50 steps back each non-existent. Fury was also expected. And the discoloration didn't change much, nodded. Just turned around and left aside. Louise whispered, actually. As long as the discharge of nuclear waste water can be stopped, I will be satisfied. All this is because of her, she thought she had a say. Zhuge Lan just glanced at her and ignored her. The current situation had been planned by him from the very beginning. Louise just happened to give it a boost. It is not only for family hatred and national hatred, but also to harvest big tricks. But Louise didn't understand Zhuge Lan's eyes, and opened her mouth to say something. Grabbed by Natasha Romanoff. Natasha Romanoff understands that in Zhuge Lan's heart, Louise's status is far higher than her own. So it's persuasion. Natasha Romanoff was shot before she could speak. And Louise just gave a warning with her eyes, but even if this status is high, it will not be higher than Zhuge Lan's personal will. If you keep talking, you won't get any good results. Cole. Clark took a deep breath and took a deep look at Zhuge Lan. Perhaps you are right, Zhuge Lan smiled back. Clark shook his head. This matter has developed to this point. It is no longer in his control. I hope next time we meet, we can sit down and have a good chat. There will be a chance. Zhuge Lan said with a smile, but I still really want to fight with you. There will be a chance, Clark smiled back. He looked up at the sky, took off and flew away. Either it flew away, or it was Fury's last confidence. Clark and Kayla. It is not an exaggeration to say that they are the two most powerful forces on Earth. In the end, both of them left. Is there still a need to fight in the following battle? Zhuge Lan's combat power was certified by Chittori. Headache emotion detected, big move point plus 1111. With Clark gone, no one can restrain Zhuge Lan anymore. Zhuge Lan is not in a hurry anymore. Slowly command Caecilius to pack Chinese food. He and Louise hadn't eaten yet. Caecilius is also powerful enough. Directly send all the food and chairs from the whole seat. And let Zhuge Lan perform live eating and broadcasting. Eating, drinking and hugging girls. The big move is crazy skyrocketing. Is there anything more fun than this? It's just not too cool. Look at the big trick again, in such a short time. The effort has already reached an astonishing level. Zhuge Lan raised his head abruptly. And saw an astonishing scene, in the originally clear sky. Fine purple cracks suddenly appeared, digging out a hole in the sky in a circular shape. Following Fury and others who watched the past. They were all brought back bad memories. This thing. Could it be another space door or something like that? A large number of enemies would come outright. Zhuge Lan was also quite puzzled. What's the matter? Thinking room, the ring crack completely opened the sky, revealing a deep darkness. Zhuge Lan's majestic kaleidoscope clearly saw a large number of space storms raging in it. Zhuge Lan searched the memory in his brain, but couldn't think of anything that could make this movement. I am wondering, 3 figures exuding brilliance emerged. And 1 figure loomed at the end. Wait until you get out of the gap in the sky. Zhuge Lan didn't recognize the 3 radiant figures. But isn't the looming one the ancient one? So the other 3 should be the Trinity, right? There is also a tiger head, which should be hogs. They are right appearing at this point in time. Did you come here to do an assessment for yourself? At this time, Natasha Romanoff leaned over and asked nervously. Do you know who these people are? Are they enemies or friends? Zhuge Lan glanced at her, leaving behind the sentence, he is someone you can't afford to mess with. The Susanoo will be turned on, and 1 person will fly straight into the sky. Not even Louise, the cameraman in charge of the live broadcast, with kaleidoscope lines flashing in his eyes, also locked the lens on Zhuge Lan and followed him all the way. Awe detected, big move point plus 1111. Worship sentiment detected, big move point plus 1099. Shock emotion detected, big move point plus 1399. During the time it takes to fly into the sky, the big move point has skyrocketed by nearly 10 million. Estimate. Everyone thought that Zhuge Lan was leading the way and was the first to negotiate when he found danger. Wait for Zhuge Lan to approach. Ancient One took a step forward at the right time and said, Your Excellency Zhu. These 3 are the Trinity God of Emperor Weishan. And they are here for you. Pointing to the only woman with her palm, she introduced. This is Ashit, the Almighty Mother of White Magic. Goddess of the sky. Then the palm pointed to the tiger's head. This is the old hogs. The oldest mysterious race in the universe. An ancient god that surpasses the celestial god group. Finally, there is the blonde youth in the middle. This is the all-seeing Agamotto, son of Asit, the current leader of Visandi, and the first generation of Sorcerer Supreme who founded Kamar-Taj. The introduction is over, Ancient One just stepped aside. The following conversation is not for her to participate in. I'm a little surprised, Zhuge Lan said at first. I thought that a mysterious ceremony would be performed in a very mysterious space. I didn't expect you to appear in front of the world in such a bright and above-board manner. Waishandi and the three looked at each other and laughed tacitly. The three of us are ancient gods who were born on the earth. Why did we hide it when we went back to our home? Asit asked back. Just to warn those unstable elements in the universe. The earth is covered by us, Hogarth said to himself. Is this homecoming? It seems that even if you become a god, you will still have humanity. That would be a fool. Was about to say something. Just heard Agamotto say, after hearing about your existence. We browsed the long river of time, Agamotto hesitated. As if he was considering how to describe it. It made Zhuge Lan a little curious. What big things did he do in the future that made them pay so much attention to him? In no mood. Agamotto said strangely, we have not been able to find your existence anywhere. You are beyond the concept of time. The three of us can't fully do this. Even if we have already joined the 5 creation gods. Your ability far surpasses ours. It is possible to become an existence that surpasses the 5 creation gods and stands side by side with the court of life. Zhuge Lan blinked at this. No one found him in the long river of time. Or it's because he's not from this universe at all. Either because, system no matter how. Because of this plus immunity to magic. The 3 gods of Emperor Waishan seem to have confirmed his identity as an innate Mephisto. As soon as you come up you will be full of praise and also. As soon as Waishandi and the 3 gods came up. They praised all over the place and also. Envy detected, big trick plus 111111. Ashamed emotions detected, big trick plus 233333. Excitement detected, big move point plus 666666. He is worthy of being a big boss who can stand shoulder to shoulder with the gods of creation. These big tricks all start at 6 figures. Zhuge Lan was also happy to make such a big move. So he didn't speak up. The atmosphere was silent for a few seconds. Agamotto also thought that Zhuge Lan was digesting the news they gave. Also didn't bother. Let Zhuge Lan frantically use a wave of big moves. After half a minute, Agamotto opened the mouth and said, as for your application to join Waisandi. We agree in principle, Asit and Hogarth nodded along. Zhuge Lan didn't answer the call. Because usually this is followed by a, but. Agamotto changed his voice, the Trinity God is going to be renamed as the 4 gods. And you still need to make a name for yourself. Kamar-Taj is a force I created to protect the dimension. And I will temporarily place it under your control. When you can find us with your own ability. You will be a member of Waisandi, understood? This is Zhuge Lan's ability. But I don't want to do things that are counterproductive. Let him grow in this universe estimate. In the eyes of these 3. The current universe is just a novice village. No matter what happens next, anyway for now. Zhuge Lan got Kamar-Taj as a free thug for nothing. And he will definitely not lose money if he promises. As for the future, Emperor Waishan exists side by side with the 5 creation gods. So it is a good choice to take away the younger brother. Zhuge Lan also nodded in response. And stated you won't wait too long. Waiting for the young master to collect you. The 3 gods of Agamotto all looked at him with approval. I believe you can do it. Asit said gently, but on the road of growth. There will always be some pain. I will give you the light to resurrect everything. Asit waved his hand. A ray of holy light fell into Zhuge Lan's right hand. Without triggering the effect of magical immunity. Nor being rejected by the system. And directly integrated into ITAT the same time. The ability to know the holy light also comes to my mind. Resurrection. as long as it is a life touched by this holy light. Even if only the defective part is left, it can be resurrected with full blood on the spot. Zhuge Lan's regeneration ability allows him to recover in situ even if he is knocked into atoms. And with this ability, you can really do whatever you want. Since Osset has been given, I can't lag behind. Hogarth said with a smile, I will give you the protection against death. The same ray of light fell down and turned into a light curtain that enveloped Zhuge Lan. Before hiding his figure, the shield Zhuge Lan can be activated actively or passively when he is about to die. The effect is also very simple, immune to all damage. Strange uses Hogarth's ancient body to turn Thanos' compressed black hole into butterflies. It is to borrow part of the effect of this ability. It can be said, even annihilation at the level of infinite snapping fingers. This Hogarth shield can resist for a while. As for individual infinite gems, basically useless to him. Agamotto smiled and shook his head. I originally planned to let you go out on your own. Eat a little bit of suffering and gain some experience. But since it's all like this, then I'll give you something too. Agamotto threw out a green light, which landed at Zhuge Lan's feet and turned into a halo. Stop the halo. As long as it is within the range covered by the time stop halo, time will be suspended according to his will. The equivalent of a portable time gem. He can also expand the range of the time stop aura by injecting energy. Can time stop resurrection avoid injury? The gift of the three gods of Agamotto. No matter if it is given to anyone, they are immediately invincibly okay. The most outrageous thing is, because we are both gods, we conflict with each other's abilities. Osset explained, so these three abilities are activated by the divine power we bestow. You must control the number of uses. Otherwise, once the divine power is exhausted, the ability will also be invalid. Besides, we also have enemies in the dimension you bring our ability. If you meet them, you activate three abilities at the same time. We will sense it. With your ability, I believe it can last for a while. Zhuge Lan blinked, an enemy of Emperor Weishan. How come you have to be at the level of Dormammu, right? Those were all blocked outside the dimension, and he had no chance to meet them in a short time. And even if we meet, with Zhuge Lan's current state, he thinks he can single out Dormammu. One-on-one Dormammu or something, This is the illusion created by definitely Zhuge Lan's excessive growth in strength. That is the master of darkness that has devoured countless dimensions. And it is an existence that can sit on an equal footing with any of Weishandi. Surviving under his hands is okay. But if he wants to defeat him, he still lacks a killer weapon that can kill him with one blow. Didn't you see what the three gods of Weishandi gave? Didn't they have a direct attack ability? Arwell cannot stay in low latitudes for too long. Agamotto said, we are waiting for you in the astral dimension. So grow up quickly, in the future there will be more. Osset and Hogarth's complexion changed. In a sharp look past, let Agamotto's words stop abruptly, nodding to Zhuge Lan with a final smile. The gate of dimension is closed from start to finish. None of the three gods is real. And they stepped out of the gate of dimension and descended to the earth. Zhuge Lan's eyes were empty. Recalling Agamotto's last words just now, he has a hunch. This unfinished sentence is the source of their eagerness to cultivate themselves. Now think about it. The abilities bestowed by the three gods are also used for life preservation. You can also directly summon them to fight, shouldn't? I was used as bait, right, or both at this time. Ancient One approached and bowed in salute. My god. Camertage is at your command. Zhuge Lan glanced at Ancient One, suddenly remembered. This product is also a 25 boy. The essence of Camertage spell is a loan contract, which borrows the power of many Mephistas and serves them after death. But Ancient One has a certain friendship with eternity. One of the five creation gods, so as long as the Weishan emperors do not object, the spirit body of the Ancient One after death should serve eternity. As for the other Mephistas, in the face of repression at the level of Weishandi and Eternal, they dare to assassinate, can only be prostituted, that is. I don't know why. Why Sandy and the others agreed to let Ancient One serve eternity. Zhuge Lan didn't have any worries. Asked directly, years of fighting let you die. Ancient One froze for a moment. It seems that he didn't expect. Why would Zhuge Lan care about this kind of problem? But still admitted, yes, the next Sorcerer Supreme. The best of us, strange is indeed good, Zhuge Lan agreed. But I'm curious, did you choose eternity? Why did Why Sandy agree to let you go? Shocked emotions detected, big move point plus 6666. The calm Ancient One came down and looked at Zhuge Lan in shock. Knowing about Strange, it wasn't surprising. But the existence of eternity, Why Sandy and others, although they have not yet transcended dimensions, cannot be explored by Zhuge Lan, who is still in the young period. How did he know his choice? Forcefully pressed the shock in my heart. Ancient One looked around. Because of the arrival of Visandi and the others, this place was not monitored by any Mephisto for the time being. She whispered, some accidents have occurred in the void of the dimension. Emperor Weishan needs some help from me to protect our dimension and continue to survive in this catastrophe. Zhuge Lan came to a sudden. It turned out that it was to win over the team. So it was understandable want to come. The Ancient One and the eternal friendship may have been arranged by Wysandi and the others. But the catastrophe in the void of dimension. Zhuge Lan narrowed his eyes and said, this is what Agamotto didn't finish just no right. Ancient One smiled wryly. Detection of helplessness, big trick point plus 1111. On one side is the current boss. One side may be the future immediate boss. What can she do? We can only try our best to reveal as much as we can. Since the birth of the multi-universe, after every 100,000 epochs, there will be a catastrophe, Ancient One considered. This catastrophe, no accident, is related to time. And the scale is unprecedentedly large. Even the level of the creation gods cannot escape the influence. Even it may be possible to calm down that life court if it is disturbed. No matter how specific the situation is. The subordinates don't know. Zhuge Lan looked at the system panel. Ancient One didn't have any emotions like panic. It seemed that he was telling the truth. A catastrophe that even the god of creation could not avoid. Zhuge Lan's first reaction after hearing. Not afraid but excited. How boring is life that can be seen at a glance. This presents a challenge that can make him feel a crisis. There is a goal in the future, maybe. His coming is to solve this catastrophe. Then he has to collect big moves. Save more capital to deal with future crises. I looked under my eyes. The photographer of his hypnotic ability has been faithfully broadcasting live. Zhuge Lan thought of a good idea to use the ultimate move. Said to Ancient One, all the magicians of Camertage are called to have an audience. Camertage has been guarding the dimension in seclusion for many years. And it's time to come out to see the sun. Ancient One didn't move but showed hesitation. What? Zhuge Lan frowned. Are you going to disobey my first order? Are you going to disobey the first order? Zhuge Lan's face was gloomy. As if he was about to turn his back on him at any moment. Frightened emotions detected, big move point plus 1111. Ancient One didn't dare to neglect. And expressed his doubts. My god, do you want to spread spells? Zhuge Lan didn't answer with a sullen face. But he didn't deny it either. Ancient One hurriedly explained. The essence of Camertage spell is based on Visandi's Book of Contract. It extracts the energy of different dimensions floating between dimensions. And uses Beelzebub's power to stimulate various effects. Just like a loan. The power borrowed from Mephisto must be repaid with the offering of the soul after death. It's just fine on a small scale. The extracted energy from another dimension will be pushed back into the dimensional gap by the universe. However, if it is popularized on a large scale, it will cause a large amount of energy retention in different dimensions. While weakening the dimensional barriers, it will be easier for other Mephistos to locate the dimensional coordinates. Especially those Mephistos who have borrowed their power. Don't even need to break through the dimensional barriers. As long as they use different dimensional energy as the medium. They can descend their own will. This is why Camertage has not expanded its scale and only chose elite education. It's not that I can't, but I dare not, after all. Although Emperor Weishan is strong enough. But because of this matter I trouble my god. Zhuge Lan's complexion softened slightly. I used to think that Ancient One was too lazy. So I didn't accept many disciples. Didn't expect this level of consideration. But what does this have to do with him? Not to mention that all this is just possible. Even if this dimension is really destroyed, he can continue to live in another dimension. But the big trick of harvesting now is a real benefit. Furthermore, by the time those Mephistas do their moves, he's almost grown up too. Ordinary Mephista dares to come. Just give him a practice hand, definitely. These words cannot be said to Ancient One. But judging by Ancient One's insistence, if there is no reason to convince her, I'm afraid it's not going to be reported to Wei Shandy and the others. I can only continue to fool around. I need faith. Zhuge Lan said in a deep voice. The arrival of Caecilius made me realize that as long as there are loyal believers, I can collect their faith and strengthen it. I need more believers. Shocked emotions detected, big move point plus 6666. You can absorb faith directly. Ancient One's eyes widened, even the 3 Weishan emperors can only indirectly. Ancient One's words stopped abruptly. She looked sharply into the void, flicked her right hand and condensed it into a Weishandi sword, and slashed through the air. The deep sword mark divided the sky into 2. And it could not be healed for a long time. Ancient One, how dare you? A scream resounded through the heaven and earth, and then dissipated. Ancient One dissipated the sword of Emperor Weishan in his hand, and returned to his approachable appearance. The arrival of Emperor Weishan has attracted some ulterior motives. Please don't disclose any more information about yourself. I will cooperate with your will and do my best for your growth. Camertage will come and worship my god in 3 minutes. Ancient One bows piously. The portal behind her opens, slides and takes her away. Piety detected, big move point plus 9,999, very good. Ancient One is still very important. Although the popularization of spells on a large scale will cause some hidden dangers. But don't forget, Weishandi is comparable to the existence of the 5 creation gods. And those powerful Mephistas have to give some face. Only those wild Mephistas, who don't know the heights of the sky and the earth, dare to come and do things. Previously, Ancient One was not popularized on a large scale. It is because she is too lazy to do it. It was also because she was not sure enough to solve these problems perfectly. If it is because of this matter, the labor Weishandi will take action. The loss outweighs the gain, but now it's different. Zhuge Lan can directly absorb the power of faith. What else is there to collect a belief more than widely accepting protege? And if it is for this reason, it will provoke an existence that Ancient One cannot fight against. I believe Emperor Weishan would be more than happy to make a move. Crushing a few worms who are looking for death, perhaps. The threat of that incident is imminent, right? After thinking about the reason, Zhuge Lan smiled. It seems that in the next period of time, no matter how much he struggles, Emperor Weishan will be behind his back. There is a feeling of backing behind this kind of feeling. It's really cool. Zhuge Lan fell down and Susanoo almost fell to the ground. Boom, Gia-like landing. Once again harvested a wave of big Trixant legs are also meat. Back to before the live broadcast. Before Zhuge Lan could speak, Fury took the lead in compromising. Sakura Island can be your private territory, huh? Was it because he was frightened by the situation just now? So he made a compromise to appease him, also good. Don't waste your time talking. Zhuge Lan looked at the live broadcast room. It's time to continue harvesting, just listen to him. I believe everyone is also very curious about the situation just now. Let me explain briefly. Those 3 became gods on Earth, named Emperor Weishan. Because the strength is too strong, I went to a higher dimension. I found out that I am a good seedling. So they came down to recruit me to join them. And entrusted me with some things, talking. Zhuge Lan squeezed the magic seal with his hands, condensed the magic lines, and built a gorgeous magic shield. The growth of big trick points has attracted a wave of surge. Fury Natasha Romanoff, and Louise on the side also had a little more fire in their eyes. This is magic. The magic in the novel is real. Zhuge Lan said, "It's just that we call it spells." The voice fell, the large portal opened just right. And one after another Camertage magicians stepped out and bowed to Zhuge Lan. Ancient One took the lead and shouted loudly, "See my god." The other magicians of Camertage shouted in unison, "See my god, see my god, see my god." Awe detected, big move point plus 1266. Loyalty sentiment detected, big move point plus 1099. Piety detected, big move point plus 6666. As expected of Camertage, although there are not many people, the big tricks provided are large in quantity and high in quality. At the same time, this magical scene was also through the live broadcast room. Show it to the world, Camertage is known all over the world. Zhuge Lan faced the live broadcast room and dropped a blockbuster. Camertage, created by Emperor Wison, has been guarding the dimension for thousands of years and resisting powerful enemies from outside the dimension. But it's been small, now I'm here. I'm going to expand the scale and recruit magician apprentices from all over the world. Camertage will set up permanent portals in countries around the world, so that everyone can come to test their qualifications and become a magician. Moment. Zhuge Lan only felt that the system prompts in front of him were frantically swiping the screen like a tsunami. Obviously, for the Earth, this news is nothing more than a nuclear bomb. Interestingly, in Camertage's team, Madhu and other old-school magicians obviously have something to say. But Ancient One, who had expected it for a long time, pushed it all back. Zhuge Lan didn't notice this little trick. He enjoyed the feast of the harvest with great joy. The others didn't dare to disturb, so they just stood with them. Shil. The agent and Camertage magician. Both are well-trained and have good physique. On the contrary, Zhuge Lan himself, up to now his physique is just an ordinary person. 10 minutes later, the screen swiping of the big move has been slow, which seems to be the audience's mood has eased. That's not okay, gotta give them some more news. Zhuge Lan raised his hand to open a portal, motioning the photographer to point the camera there. The entrance is an aerial view of a city only. The city is in a state of dead ashes. The main roads are full of garbage, and there is no trace of human habitation. This is a floating island. Zhuge Lan pointed to the coastline. The site of the nuclear leak and the nuclear wastewater produced are all there. There is the culprit of everything. People don't understand. What did Zhuge Lan show them this? Both Fury and Ancient One also frowned slightly, thinking about something. Only Natasha Romanoff opened her eyes wide, as if thinking of a possibility. Next moment, Zhuge Lan didn't say any greetings. The kaleidoscope in his left eye was spinning extremely fast, and there were even blood and tears flying wildly. At the center of the floating island, a spatial vortex emerged, slowly rotating and spreading around a few breaths. It just covered half of the floating island, and it was still expanding at a very fast speed this moment. Everyone had guessed what Zhuge Lan was thinking. He actually wanted to wipe the entire floating island off the map. It's too, that's great, yes. As long as the floating island is gone, the abandoned nuclear power plants will disappear, and there will be no nuclear wastewater. And the nuclear wastewater stored on the spot will also be disposed of. All problems solved. This is a solution that can only be achieved by Zhuge Lan. Fury's face trembled and he wanted to say something. But after glancing at Ancient One and other magicians, he swallowed the words silently. A Zhuge Lan they can't handle. Now there is another mysterious organization guarding the dimension. He can't control it at all. Countless people held their breath, watching the space vortex expand, until it covers the entire floating island, then twists and devours it. Uoda's floating island has been hollowed out abruptly. Since then disappeared from the world only. Disaster also followed. The floating island disappeared and disaster followed. This large piece of land that suddenly disappeared was also flooded by the sea. Form a wave of menacing tsunami, sweeping towards the cities around the floating island. Ruined, didn't the alien savior take into account? Damn all the little days. Such a big wave, if you can surf, it must be very exciting. What a huge tsunami rushing over alien savior help. The live broadcast room immediately went into chaos. Zhuge Lan definitely could not have thought of this scene. He glanced back at Ancient One. Ancient One nodded, opened the portal and left. The thin figure appeared in front of the 1,000-meter-height tsunami. Looking so small. But she is so small, she just raised her left hand lightly. The huge magic circle fell into the potholes of the floating island, forming a barrier of tornadoes out of thin air. The menacing tsunami was swept into the sky and mostly resprayed in the direction of the sea. Only a small amount is sprayed into the pothole, filling the bottom of the pit. Ancient One didn't know if it was a special position, and wanted to show a wave of operations. This process is very slow. Let the audience in front of the live broadcast room. The world view cultivated for many years shattered magic. You know it's a spell so powerful jointly. Zhuge Lan's big move is also ushered in another wave of swiping screens. This made Zhuge Lan very satisfied with Ancient One, although sometimes she has more thoughts on her own. But once you do things seriously, still very reliable. Is a capable man viewed from the side. Why Sandy was able to send Ancient One to the eternal god of creation. It seems that the catastrophe is indeed very difficult. At this time, Louise came to Zhuge Lan's side and tugged his sleeve carefully. Zhuge Lan looked down and cast a questioning look. Can I learn spells? Louise asked with bright eyes. Detection of anticipation, big move point plus 1111. Zhuge Lan laughed. Rubbed Louis' long hair, making it a bird's nest. Kai Kai said, definitely it's fine. I'll let Ancient One teach you personally. The premise is that you have the spell ability, but most likely not. Ancient One has time gem to cheat. And most of the ones with spell ability have been accepted by her. Leftover, most of the abilities are not high. Or the ambition is not here, like Strange. If it wasn't designed by Ancient One, his hands would be disabled. Could he be interested in practicing spells? Tusk. From this point of view, Ancient One is still a black-bellied person. Fury was quite moved when he heard the conversation between the two. He leaned over cheekily and asked, since we are recruiting apprentices, why don't we also set up a test point in my SHIELD? Zhuge Lan didn't even look at it in the past. He might have to run errands, and he would give him a bird. But this time in the Sakura Island incident, Fury's performance disappointed Zhuge Lan. There is also Camertage as a younger brother. Fury was directly thrown into the limbo and refused to be hired. Fury was also self-aware and gave Natasha Romanoff a wink. Natasha Romanoff shook her head. She understands her status, which is just a little bit higher than Fury. Now that Zhuge Lan is in a fit of anger, it's not the right time. Fury sighed and had no choice but to give up anyway. As Zhuge Lan said, a testing point will be set up in each country. It's nothing more than running far away. What he is afraid of is SHIL. D was directly rejected by Zhuge Lan, that's the trouble. Suddenly, there was a big commotion outside. And Fury frowned slightly, point to Natasha Romanoff. It's the Emperor Sakura. Natasha Romanoff explained, the Security Council of the small island of Sakura has decided to use it as your private territory. But Emperor Sakura doesn't agree. We'll fix this, give us some time. Oh, too. His own country was suddenly told that he had given away. That people can be happy, Zhuge Lan said. Even if I don't accept it, I will hold it back, but well. He really wanted to see what the Emperor Sakura was going to do. Is it Sapo rolling or accept the head in worship? Let him in, Zhuge Lan said. Natasha Romanoff looked at Fury, who nodded. The photographer sensibly adjusted the angle so that while Ancient One was in the shot, Zhuge Lan was also in the shot. After half a minute, the Emperor Sakura, dressed in gorgeous costumes, came galloping alone. Before he was in front of him, he just slipped and knelt. In the posture of tuxiaz. He stopped firmly in front of Zhuge Lan. Your Excellency Zhuge. The Emperor Sakura said loudly, I would like to hand over the Emperor to your Excellency. And please forgive the people of Sakura. The nuclear waste water issue is the cabinet's sole claim and has nothing to do with them. Yoha to intercede for the people, but Zhuge Lan checked the details. Why did the Emperor Sakura in front of him be secretly happy? Shouldn't it be righteous? There is fraud. This Sakura Emperor, there is a problem. That's the problem. Natasha Romanoff leaned closer to her ear and said softly. He can't do what he sees. He traded the meaningless emperor's throne in exchange for fame and the inheritance of the Sakura royal family. Although the cabinet is responsible for the discharge of nuclear wastewater, the emperor is also aware of it. Without the emperor's acquiescence, the cabinet could not have been so bold. Zhuge Lan came to a sudden, an appreciative glance at Natasha Romanoff, then kicked the emperor over with one kick. Caecilius, give him a dagger, Zhuge Lan ordered. Caecilius circled with one hand. He took out a dagger with simple patterns from the portal and inserted it in front of the emperor. Don't you want to sacrifice yourself for others? Zhuge Lan sneered. I heard that there is a tradition in your cherry blossoms called seppuku, which is named after death. You can do it. Emperor Sakura looked at Zhuge Lan in disbelief. How dare he, with the righteousness of the people? I surrendered to Zhuge Lan. It's fine if Zhuge Lan doesn't accept it. How dare he do it in public? Isn't he afraid that in the future, the small island country of Sakura will be alienated from him? Zhuge Lan said, even ordinary people. If you dare to treat him positively and negatively, you will only end up with one word of death. What's more, people from the small island country of Sakura. I said, are you cutting it or not? Zhuge Lan joked, how about I help you? Emperor Sakura, Omega de Omega, he is extremely regretful now. Why should he pretend to be smart and come to take advantage of this heat? The Security Council has decided to give the small island country of Sakura to Zhuge Lan. Compensation will definitely be made afterwards. Why do you have to be conspicuous? This is just great. Being targeted by Zhuge Lan. He will ask you to express your opinion by cutting seppuku. And if you don't cut it, you will cut it for you. What should I do now? Emperor Sakura was in a dilemma and didn't know how to react. Zhuge Lan lost his patience. The kaleidoscope stares. Direct hypnotic ability to Emperor Sakura. No. I don't want to die. I'm the emperor. I can't die. The Emperor Sakura crawled back in panic, leaving a trail of moisture where he passed, exuding bursts of anger. Zhuge Lan is disgusted with covering his nose and is about to destroy the humanity of this guy. A portal appeared on the head of Emperor Sakura, and the simple dagger stuck in the ground fell down and stabbed neatly into the latter's stomach. Unknowingly, Emperor Sakura continued to crawl backwards, like a pinned eel, opening his entire stomach, and the intestines flowed out to overflow with filth. The severe pain caused Emperor Sakura to wake up from the hypnotic ability and saw his intestines all over the floor, and his pupils shrank to a pinhole file size. Fear is detected. Big move point plus 29.99. This is his last swan song. Fear to the depths. No yelling, no struggling. The Emperor Sakura's pupils were dilated, and he fell down without any movement. That's it. There is still a portal opened, sending away the blood and filth all over the ground, and throwing it directly into the raging tsunami. Zhuge Lan looked back, seeing Caecilius put away the sling ring. He noticed Zhuge Lan's gaze and saluted respectfully from a distance. This made Zhuge Lan very satisfied, leaving aside Caecilius' strength for the time being. At this level of caring, number 1 pony has run away. By the way, Zhuge Lan also has the holy light given by Asit, and seems to have been resurrected. Caecilius' wife and daughter. The premise is that this guy has their remains, even if it's just ashes. But these are for later. Zhuge Lan looked at the live broadcast room and said kindly, everyone has seen Emperor Sakura, and he feels guilty about discharging nuclear waste water. I admire his courage to die generously, so I decided to. It's fair to donate the proceeds of Sakura Island for 10 years and compensate those who are troubled by the discharge of nuclear wastewater. As soon as this remark came out, the death of Emperor Sakura is irrelevant. There is only one thought in everyone's mind: pride. The small island country of Sakura is the 3rd largest economy in the world, according to the GPD of 5.1 trillion meters in previous years. This decade will be 51 trillion meters. 51 trillion meters of gold. 510 trillion meters of gold. A full 15 digits. All used to subsidize the victims of nuclear wastewater. For a moment, the eyes of countless people were all red and glowing golden. At the same time, excitement detected, big move point plus 1212. Greedy emotion detected, big move point plus 2333. Shocking emotions detected, big move point plus 1111. When huge amounts of benefits are in front of you and within reach, no one can keep calm. Even Fury has one eye in the shape of a Mikan. 51 trillion meters of gold. With this fund, the gap in his moon base can be filled. Zhuge Lan, who was the instigator, also grinned at the moment. With the space gate in hand, he bought it for 0 yuan on Earth. And money is meaningless. Just thinking about the generosity of others. Did not expect. The big trick points obtained directly double the balance. And it is still doubling at an exaggerated speed. Breaking through the billion mark in the blink of an eye. And heading for tens of billions, this is going to be posted. Suddenly, a flash of inspiration flashed in Zhuge Lan's mind. And he had a bold idea. For most civilians, making money is their biggest dream. Looking at the annual revenue of the lottery, you can see how many people are dreaming of getting rich overnight. And exactly, to the current Zhuge Lan, money is just a number. At least that's how Earth's money works. Now he wants land and land money and money. People and people, the kind that can be used without burden. Can't this serve the people of the world well? An idea took shape in Zhuge Lan's mind. But it still needs to be considered in the long run. And there is no rush to arrange it in the short term, well now. Zhuge Lan waved to Natasha Romanoff, who trotted forward. You are in the capital of each country by the next building. The kind with a square is a camertage branch. Natasha Romanoff eyelids twitch. 1 building per country, the one with the square. How much does this cost? Although Zhuge Lan now holds the small island country of Sakura, he can fully afford the expense, but why did Zhuge Lan call Natasha Romanoff? Isn't it just to make SHIELD pay for it? Natasha Romanoff didn't dare to call the shots, and secretly sent a confirmation signal to Fury. Fury's mind changed sharply. Although this would be a huge expense, since they all bought it, Zhuge Lan has no reason to exclude SHIELD from the magic system, right? It's worth the money, You can still go to the Security Council later and add a few zero reimbursements. Immediately stated, no problem. Guaranteed to be the most prime location. This sentence is worth hundreds of billions. Zhuge Lan didn't even look at Fury, but turned to look at the Ancient One who had just returned. After the fixed portal is established, each division must send a magician to station and teach. Ancient One hasn't spoken yet, Madhu just jumped out. How can it be? Do you know how many countries there are on our planet? 297, this requires at least 297 official magicians. The total number of camertage is not that many now. Anger is detected, big move point plus 1111 I can tell. Madhu didn't welcome Zhuge Lan, the god who popped up. Zhuge Lan glanced at Madhu and raised his eyebrows, thinking about how to teach this disrespectful person a lesson. Ancient One directly hit the magic whip and sent Madhu flying out of the air for 9.5 circles, before finally lying face down on the ground. Humming and chirping, he couldn't get up, it's so ruthless. But Zhuge Lan said, it seems that you are quite optimistic about this little black skin. Otherwise he wouldn't have saved Madhu. No one would think that Zhuge Lan would survive if he made a move. Right, Madhu's ability is very good, but his personality is a bit old-fashioned. Ancient One pleaded, I will solve the magician's problem and write a one-step introductory manual. Some apprentices can also sit in the town temporarily. Zhuge Lan smiled noncommittally, but did not refute Ancient One's words definitely. It's mainly about Madhu. Although the big trick is to frantically swipe the screen. It's just anger, no hatred or anything like that. This saved himself. Zhuge Lan pulled Louise over and said, look, does she have the qualifications to learn spells? Louise puffed her chest out in anticipation and almost missed Ancient One's face, fortunately. Ancient One is hundreds of years old and doesn't care about these external conditions. A green light flashed in his eyes. It was to see Louise's details clearly and shake his head decisively. A natural energy insulator. Unable to communicate with different dimensional energy. Let alone cast spells, this evaluation is merciless. Let Louise, who is looking forward to it, be petrified in place like a lightning strike. Disappointment detected, big move point plus 1111. Zhuge Lan waved his hand, indicating that Ancient One can go to work. Then he put his arm around Louise's shoulder and pointed to the position of the floating island that had been swallowed by the ocean. Didn't I promise to appease those who were affected by the discharge of nuclear wastewater? The amount of funds is not small. You can help me look at it. I don't worry about others. Louise woke up instantly from her disappointment, pointed at her nose and widened her eyes. So much money, leave it to me, Ang. Zhuge Lan nodded and said, my woman on Earth is just you and Jane. You can't let Jane go, can you? Louise shook her head subconsciously. Jane is her university tutor. So asking her to do this is not an over. It is also a professional inappropriate only. My major in college is not. What major do you want? Zhuge Lan interrupted, you don't have to work, just let Hild send someone to watch over it, huh? Then what am I going to do? Who's looking at Shild? Don't take my money, Fury, Japanese letter hash, are you serious? Shild's black cards are all in your hands. So is it worthwhile to covet your money? Seeing Fury's face darkened, Natasha Romanoff stepped forward just in time. I happen to have experience in operating funds and can help you build a framework. Really, that's great, Louise said pleasantly. Then please, Sister Natasha Romanoff. Natasha Romanoff smiled. His eyes glanced at Zhuge Lan inadvertently. In complex colors flashed in his eyes. There are only 2 women on Earth. Obviously she was the first, but soon. Natasha Romanoff just threw that thought out of her mind. Those things. It's not her identity, she should think about it. Just when things are about to come to an end, call out. Stark's steel battle suit pierced the sky and landed extremely fast. The steel mask opened with a bang, winking at Zhuge Lan. Hey, great job, Fury's complexion turned dark again. What's the meaning, aren't you the one I called over? In no mood, Zhuge Lan shook his head. The invitation said, there is something more interesting. Do you want to go together? Oh. Stark became interested, go. Kicilia stepped forward consciously, ready to open the door for Zhuge Lan. Zhuge Lan turned on Susanoo directly, flapping his wings and flying towards the center of the city. Fear is detected, big move point plus 2222. Fury's complexion changed drastically. Every time Zhuge Lan summons Susanoo, nothing good happens. In the best case, a piece of land must be destroyed. Quick helicopter, follow him, don't lose it. Stark, watch him. Stark rolled his eyes at Fury's order. Directly retorted, do you think he seems to be able to listen to me? Immediately before Fury could answer, he closed his steel mask and flew up to catch up. Susanoo suddenly retracted his wings and fell freely towards a building below. Stark was taken aback. But after seeing what the building was, he relaxed again. I can't even look down on an alien. This small island country of cherry blossoms is really unbearable. Stark thoughtfully switched the live broadcast signal and then dived down. Follow the broadcast from the first point of view. The number of people in the live broadcast room plummeted because Zhuge Lan left. Screen switching. It happened to be the scene of Susanoo falling from the sky and smashing heavily on the gate of the building complex. The Stark angle was found very well. It happened that the 4 characters Yasukuni Temple on the stone tablet at the entrance were brought into the camera. Next moment, boom, Gia landed. And the land, with a radius of several kilometers, was completely shattered. The Yasukuni Shrine, which covers an area of 90 square kilometers, trembled violently. Internal visitors, thinking it was an earthquake, most of them ran out to the open space in an orderly manner. Saw huge amounts of Susanoo at a glance. What is that? Monster, is there still Digia to appear? Aren't you paying attention to the news? That's the alien savior, run. It is said in the live broadcast that the alien savior is here to destroy the Yasukuni Shrine. Hey. Why do you want to destroy my belief in the great Sakura Empire? Even an alien savior has to abide by the laws of our planet. Right, there are so many of us here, how dare he? The discussion below cannot affect Zhuge Lan. Without any mercy, directly drew out the sword of Susanoo. And the space was cut open when he swung it right, splitting the entire Yasukuni shrine in half. A terrifying space storm swept out from it, and everything it passed was torn apart and devoured. Whether it is buildings or people, without exception. Now the people below are panicking and fleeing. And at the same time, they can't believe that Zhuge Lan is really killing people. Zhuge Lan said, "No one who can come to visit the Yasukuni shrine is innocent. Where is this? There are a total of 466 million priests in the sacred toilet, of which 325 million are war criminals. Can there be good people here?" Zhuge Lan controls Susanoo. Starting from the door, pushing down all the buildings encountered along the way. Where there are many people, there will be huge amounts of feet. It smells like an attacking giant. There are also some smart ones who start to walk around the crowd. But just as they were about to step out, the scope of the Yasukuni shrine, the surrounding space suddenly distorted. Even if he reacted and fled outwards, it was also tightly grasped by that devouring force. Little by little, he was dragged into the abyss. The desperation and fear before dying contributed a lot of big moves to Zhuge Lan. At the same time, the audience in the live broadcast room also exploded. Oh my God, is the alien savior so cruel? Holy Mother, upstairs, take a good look at where this is. There is no good person who can appear in the Yasukuni shrine. There are still. The fire of the hero Liu Qiang back then is still deeply remembered. Yeah, this toilet should have been knocked down long ago. This alien is from another planet, so he doesn't talk too much. Even aliens can't see past them, which shows how unwelcoming this country is. But would it be bad for the alien savior to do this? Another Holy Mother is here. Come on, someone fork it out. Not good. What's wrong? Now the small island country of Sakura belongs to others. There is no room for the Yasukuni toilet, which shows how dirty this place is. Watching him kill like this is really cool. I have already bought the air ticket. I hope I can make a fire in time. Fuck, brother, wait for me. There are still 6 vacancies in the private jet. The coordinates are Chuanma. Dongshan Airlines absolutely temporarily cancelled multiple flights and applied for a direct flight to Jingdong. The estimated time is 3 hours. And the scheduled time is 1.5 hours. Is the calculation upstairs wrong? No mistake. My dad, Dongshan Airlines is so awesome. While you were still pushing me, I had already bought my ticket. The young master kicked the accelerator and arrived in 3 minutes. Brother, help me bring one Ziba. Pull out the transport plane quickly. Although there are several saints mixed in the comments, but most of the people praised Zhuge Lan's behavior. The country of Sakura Island is really notorious. They are also defeated countries. Germany can afford to lose. And they have sincerely apologized and compensated for their past sins. Look at this small island country of cherry blossoms. Don't admit it at all, let alone an apology. They even tampered with textbooks in an attempt to erase that period of history. Just highlight that there is no lower limit. Coupled with the willful discharge of nuclear wastewater, it has already committed public outrage. Some people even think so. This will become the fuse of World War III. Now finally someone can stand up, instead of doing what they have long wanted to do. It's so cool. Excitement detected, big move point plus 1099. Happy emotions detected, big trick. Violence detected, big move point plus 1299. Peak emotion detected, big move point plus 2099, good guy. The big move point has been tripled. This is when the momentum has weakened slightly, but it is still soaring like a rocket. But Zhuge Lan has no time to take care of these now. He was also caught in the excitement, smashing wantonly in the Yasukuni shrine. It was so cool that he felt like he was about to climax. That is to say, you can't absorb your own emotions. Otherwise it will definitely be a big income. Until at the moment, Fury was the one who arrived late. Looking at the Yasukuni shrine that had been destroyed for the most part, he could only smile wryly back. For example, The entire Cherry Blossom Island country is now Zhuge Lan's private territory. Even before this, they can't seem to stop Zhuge Lan either. After all, this Yasukuni shrine is indeed too hated. That is, Zhuge Lan's attitude towards visitors is also worth analyzing. Those people really don't deserve to die. But Zhuge Lan despised life so much that he decided the life and death of tens of thousands of people and executed it himself. This iron-blooded method is the most noteworthy. If it weren't for the previous events, camouflage was restricting. Fury might already be rocking people. Having a head-to-head encounter with Zhuge Lan, as for now. Fury still remembers the scene of Ancient One breaking the sky with a sword before. Can't beat it at all, a Zhuge Lan can't solve it. How can I fight another Ancient One? Not to mention that there are a bunch of magicians under his command, who will behead you in minutes as soon as the portal opens. Now, what Fury can do is to let SHIEL D pull up the cordon so that no more people will be affected. Aggrieved emotion detected, emotion value plus 1111. The Yasukuni shrine is indeed very large. Zhuge Lan even smashed and burned it. And he was busy for several hours. And he was the one who knocked down this piece of building into ruins. But Zhuge Lan is very happy if you want to be fast. He can solve things with a single stroke of divine power from the sky. All you need is a hands-on experience. Looking at the ruins in front of him, Zhuge Lan had an idea to cut leaks. He waved straight up and Stark landed. I'll enclose the nearby land, keep the ruins intact, and build an airport directly. Zhuge Lan said with a smile, then neighboring countries land at this airport without a visa. What do you think? Just highlight a convenience. I believe that a large wave of big moves can be harvested again. Even Stark, a business genius, couldn't help but twitch his mouth. Zhuge Lan, this is. You still don't feel relieved when you smash yourself. But you want people from all over the world to come and relieve your anger. Can the ruins still be used as a scenic spot? Stark was a little confused, but Starkit is less than cool. The internet is boiling. The alien savior is mighty. You are on the plane, can you land now? I'm a retired flight officer, I used to fly fighter jets. I don't need an airport, give me an open space to land. Same retired flight crew if it's not possible. The sea just now can also be forced to land. Are you embarrassing my alien savior? I am a retired Air Force paratrooper. I can skydive myself without landing. Report from Paratrooper 2, report from Paratrooper No. 3. Looking at the projected barrage in front of him, Stark also became interested. Turn on the projection device directly and let Zhuge Lan see it. I didn't expect you to do it this way. There are really people who want to see it, Stark sighed. He really doesn't understand, Zhuge Lan didn't explain. Stark is the United States plutocrat, born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Half of life is almost smooth sailing. How can it be possible to understand what is national hatred and family hatred? But well, since everyone is so enthusiastic, then he can't lose his enthusiasm. Kamui twisted. Sight from left to right repeated 10 times. 10 simple runways were cleared directly. Then he said to the camera, in the next month, these 10 runways will be open to all countries unconditionally. The ruins at the back if you are interested. You can also smash and step on it. As soon as this word comes out, the live broadcast room is boiling again. God. The alien savior is so good. I love the alien savior so much. I have decided from today on, you are my idol. I am a diehard fan of my idol. 10-year-old fans come to report good news. Coordinate Fujian Airport, cancel 90% of flights and fly directly to the small island country of Sakura. Depend on. I don't allow it because our province doesn't have it. You are still too slow. Dongshan Airlines has already taken off. We are on Dongshan Airlines. The captain told us to fasten our seat belts. He's about to step on the accelerator and fly the plane. At the same time, the system prompt in front of Zhuge Lan also went crazy again. Zhuge Lan opened the system panel and took a look. Host Zhuge Lan. Ability, a certain 50/50 dual god power S. The regenerated ability, SS of a villain with one eye and half his face. The magical immunity SS that a certain bad old man comprehended before he became a god. Big tricks 24 784 578 458, hold C, 24. 7 billion, this number is too outrageous. When he watched it half a day ago, it was still some distance away from tens of billions. This. It seems that when doing things, the bigger the better. Only by finding the G-spot of most people can we get twice the result with half the effort. I'm thinking about it. The big trick is to break through 25 billion. And it is still soaring all the way, it's outrageous. It feels like relying on stamina. It should be able to reach 30 billion today. So here comes the problem. How many times does he want to draw? Or just draw 30 billion at once? Although there is no direct attack on ability. The more ability is not the better. The more you invest, the better the skills you get, so it must come to send 30 billion, don't know what to get. Zhuge Lan was selling, and found that there was an extra hand in front of his chest. Because there is no consumption or side effects, Zhuge Lan usually turns on the Shenwei kaleidoscope. Turn around and look, Stark waved his hands in confusion, and walked back and forth in Zhuge Lan's body. What is the principle of this? The corner of Zhuge Lan's mouth twitched. Directly under Stark's feet a portal opened, and the exit was half a meter above his head. Then Stark was shocked to find out his own feet can kick his own head. He studied the portal quite curiously with great interest. Zhuge Lan simply came out of nowhere. He opened a portal again and threw Stark into Mount Fuji. I hope he reacts quickly, otherwise. That's an active volcano. Looking at the system panel, the big trick point just jumped from 9 billion to 30 billion. Open system draw. May I ask how many big trick points you have invested in the lucky draw? A minimum of 100 million big trick points, 30 billion. Consume 300 billion big trick points. The lottery starts. The sky was once again cut into a square group, and the edge could not be seen at a glance. The dazzling array of abilities all make Zhuge Lan jealous. A bald but stronger serious continuous punch. A Zampacuto that can burn mountains and seas with a swastika solution. A high school student's daily awakening new super ability. A certain automatic dodges perfect free will. Oh, everyone really wants it if you can only pick one. Resign yourself to fate, change, stop. One of the forms of the weapon of causality on the human body can directly see the dead line and dead point of the final form of things. And cutting it off will make the final form come inevitably. Hold C, kill the magic eye. This is the ability that allows mortals to kill gods with only a knife. All things will one day perish. Even if it is as strong as the 6 infinite gems, it will be completely destroyed by Thanos in the future. This is the final form of all things. The magic eye of death can see this final form in. Deadlines are partial final forms, such as Thanos' arms being severed and his belly disemboweled by a storm axe. Only damages the target, not destroys it outright. The dead point is the complete final form and the fatal point where multiple deadlines meet. It is the death ending of Thanos was beheaded, or Thanos was annihilated by infinite snapping fingers. If the dead point is destroyed, the target will be destroyed directly. End. There is no way of resisting, because destruction is inevitable. Destroying the dead point or the dead line is just to let the result come in advance. Zhuge Lan blinked. A circle of sapphire blue light appeared on the side of the kaleidoscope, and a rainbow circle of light appeared in the center of the pupil. It looks so beautiful, but in Zhuge Liang's vision, this world seems to have become two-dimensional. Everything is connected by gray dead lines, and multiple dead lines are connected into dead points. Zhuge Lan condensed a Susanoo sword and swiped lightly to cut a dead line. The load-bearing column connected at the end of the dead line suddenly caught fire and turned into a piece of coke in an instant, collapsing and shattering the ground. This is the future corresponding to the dead thread that was cut off just now, to be burned. Interesting. Zhuge Lan flashed and entered the Shenwei space. Several assault boats came into view, and the Zeta Swiss soldiers spotted him at the same time, speeding up and swooping over. It seems that the Chitauri Legion has not given up on exploring the Shenwei space. Zhuge Lan condensed several magical arrows, and the powerful dynamic vision of the kaleidoscope easily locked the target. It seems that the goddess scattered flowers and threw them away. Several Zeta Swiss soldiers turned around, obviously trying to avoid it. But they happened to collide with the magic arrow. It turned into bright spots all over the sky on the spot, and disappeared. This is the unique exit special effect of being hit at the dead center. Didn't pay attention to them. Zhuge Lan looked down, and knew his floating island ruins lay quietly. Countless dead lines crisscross, condensing a large number of dead spots. Zhuge Lan didn't leave. The left hand opened the portal, and the right hand condensed the magic arrow and shot it, hitting a 20-story building. Magic arrows are as insignificant as ants to the building. Just because it hit the dead point, the whole building turned into light spots and disappeared into the void, leaving a huge foundation, as if it has not yet been constructed. Zhuge Lan couldn't help being amazed. This kind of elegant destruction method of pouting Jianyu really fits his temperament. Another magic arrow was shot and landed on the flat ground. The land, with a radius of hundreds of meters, collapsed into a tiankang directly, as if it had been like this before. As the portals opened one after another, magic arrows fell one after another. The buildings on the floating island ruins disintegrated. The land collapsed, and even the seawater brought in was decomposed. Zhuge Lan is like a god with a blackboard eraser, who can erase everything that exists at will. This kind of destruction that dominates all things makes Zhuge Liang a little bit over the top. While thinking, with such an unsolvable means of destruction, maybe his plan can be bolder. For example, conquer the universe with the Earth as the center. At that time, all intelligent life in the universe will become his experience babies. That's a big trick for lying down thinking. A large number of Leviathan beasts were cruising, and the movement here attracted Chitauri's attention. Only, as soon as they saw Zhuge Liang from a distance, the Chitauri army turned around and retreated. Obviously, the previous battle in Manhattan made them understand how terrible Zhuge Liang is. But it's all here, can you still leave? Zhuge Liang still didn't move. One after another, the portals opened. Every time a magic arrow is thrown, a Leviathan giant beast turns into light spots all over the sky. It was much easier to kill than before. Regret is detected, big move point plus 1111. Fear is detected, big move point plus 1222. Sorrow is detected, big move point plus 1222. The Chitauri's commander is probably out of his mind right now. How come this pervert has only been a few days? And it's even more perverted again, it's outrageous. Slaughter the incoming Chitauri troops. Zhuge Lan nodded in satisfaction. The lethality of the Death Devil's eye is very good. Just don't know. Is this unreasonable law of cause and effect useful to Emperor Weishan and the others? After all, they are already comparable to the gods of creation, and they may not have an end form, and system is the SSS level the highest level? No, really. 30 billion is the SSS level. Can't 100 billion and 200 billion be SSS levels in the future? Right. And the minimum system lottery draw starts at 100 million, which is the lowest level S level. It can't be that the total grades are only S grade SS grade. And SSS Graderite, the skill level is from low to high. How much is it? The lowest level is S level, followed by SS level, SSS level, SSR level, SRR level, X level. Oh, okay. The SSS level magic I may be a bug in this single universe, but it may not be in a higher dimension. The effect on existences like Waishandi. To be determined. If you have a chance to experiment, you will know. Zhuge Lan turned and left the Shenwei space, and returned to the ruins. Buzz. A small plane just landed on the airstrip, and several people couldn't wait to jump off before it came to a complete stop. Seeing Zhuge Liang from a distance, he rushed towards him excitedly waving his arms. Zhuge Lan originally planned to leave, but in it saw beautiful scenery. It looks familiar. Where have you seen it before? In memory. A few people had already rushed to the front. Their eyes were frenzied as if they wanted to swallow Zhuge Lan. Idle, I didn't expect to catch up. A young Asian said excitedly, "My name is Song Joon Kai. And I happen to be doing a private flight. When I see your live broadcast, I will directly forward." Zhuge Lan waved his hands, not wanting to hear the boy's nonsense. Looking directly at the end of the crowd. "That familiar Asian girl, what's your name?" "Ah." The Asian girl was stunned for a moment, and subconsciously replied, "My name is Zhao Halen. I am 20 years old this year. I graduated from the Capital University of the Universe with a Ph.D. degree in nanomaterials and technology. I used to be in." Zhao Helen suddenly covered her mouth. What did she say? "I'm not interviewing myself, so why at the same time?" Zhuge Lan also remembered who this Helen Zhao was. In Avengers 2. Helen Ko Banner works in the lab in the Avengers building. Hawkeye was injured in the battle with Hydra. And it was Helen Zhao who used high-tech medical technology to treat him. Helen Zhao's intelligence also does not belong to Stark. And Stark said, "Your old clunky mechanical battle suit is going to be laid off. The future is nanotechnology." Facts have proved that Helen Zhao is right. Such a female scientist with both wisdom and beauty is simply a copy of Jane. And she has an Asian face. Don't be too in line with Zhuge Liang's appetite. Zhuge Lan smiled. "Nano, this is indeed the direction of the future." Zhuge Lan praised, "Even in the universe, nanotechnology is also the mainstream." Zhao Helen showed surprise. "I knew it. Nanotechnology is the future," Zhao Helen exclaimed. "Just right. I'm going to organize a nanotechnology research center." Zhuge Lan invited, "Do you want to come together, can I?" Zhao Helen's eyes are bright. "After all, I just graduated. And I don't have any internship experience. It's okay, I'll let Bruce Banner take you." Zhuge Lan laughed. Surprise emotion detected, big move point plus 1099. Zhao Helen clenched her fists excitedly. Bruce Banner. Hulk body in Avengers, but as a doctoral student. What Helen Zhao saw was Banner's 7 doctorates in. Although it does not include nanotechnology and applications. It is a world-renowned physicist. Leading her, a fledgling rookie, is simply not too fancy. That is it really possible? Helen Zhao couldn't believe it. "I don't doubt you. But I have some doubts about my own ability." "You have to believe in yourself." Zhuge Lan pointed to his eyes. "My eyes can see the future. And the future of nanotechnology is you. The kaleidoscope is already cool. But now it has the magic eye of death to add dazzling light. The gorgeousness makes Zhao Helen fascinated by it just by looking at it." I have no doubts about Zhuge Lan's words. "I know I will definitely work hard." Zhao Helen clenched her fists and said, "I will research practical results for you as soon as possible." Zhuge Lan smiled back. "Yes, be early." Zhao Helen looked like an innocent girl who just came out of society. And she had a feeling of admiration for herself. It is not difficult to win. And there is no need for strong means. The Overlord always pushes hard. And occasionally he has to try other ways of chasing girls. SHILD was very efficient. But completed the acquisition plan in one day. All the buildings are selected as commercial centers. And they are still the kind with a central square. Arrange people on the same day to erect the signboard. Zhuge Lan Spell Apprentice Training Class. The reason why there is no camouflage is proposed by Ancient One. Zhuge Lan needs to reap faith. So he must definitely handle these things in his name even. Every magician stationed there is nominally an outer disciple of Ancient One and a disciple of Zhuge Lan. And on the central square there is also a statue of Zhuge Lan. The rich and powerful Ancient One is directly poured with gold as a whole. The height of 10 meters is enough to see Zhuge Lan's gleaming forehead several streets away. This forced Fury to send additional agents to prevent criminals from having evil thoughts about the golden statue. Such an ostentatious portal naturally attracted countless eyes. Huge crowds came all wanting to be a noble spell apprentice. But camouflage existed for thousands of years. But the magicians were only a handful. In addition to the pickiness of previous Sorcerer Supremes. There is no one in a billion who wants to have the qualifications for cultivation. The only camouflage that can identify qualifications with the naked eye is Ancient One. Even the big disciple Caecilius or Wang etc. need to be taught before they know it. Therefore, there is no qualification review in the novel. Anyone who signs up can participate in the spell teaching of level 1. So the next day, on the central squares of the capitals of various countries, tens of thousands of people are neatly arranged in square formations. They go down to young children up to the elderly. Without any restrictions, a magician wearing a camouflage robe will lead them to start the simplest practice, communicating the energy of another dimension. Normally in camouflage, the portal spell will be chosen as the entry spell for novice magicians. Because of the blessing of Sling Ring, it will be better to perceive the energy of different dimensions. But this time there were too many people. The Sling Ring is made of fine gold, and it also needs to be engraved with a large number of rune circles. Supplying camouflage, it's okay to say. All the apprentices in the world. Ancient One wasn't going to bother with that. Directly and uniformly teach spell weapons. The most basic spell shield and the spell arrow made by Zhuge Lan are the extended application of this spell. This directly screened out most ordinary people without talent. Listening to the different dimensional energy, that magician said. I blushed and finally didn't even have a fart. On the first day, not even one person succeeded, after all. All the really qualified people have been taken away by Ancient One. But day 2, day 3, day 4, none of them succeeded. If it weren't for every guide magician, he would be able to rub spell lines with his bare hands. There is also the endorsement of the golden signboard of the alien savior. Many people think that this is not a fraudulent organization. Right, with a strong belief, finally in the 5th day, a little girl actually summoned a spell pattern with a flick of her hand. Although it was only a flash, she didn't even pay much attention to it herself. But luckily for her, the guiding magician is king. Mediculausch has been paying attention to everyone, and immediately discovered the abnormality here. And a portal directly came to the little girl. The little girl was shocked. Don't be afraid. Gwen said, you have a perception of the energy of another dimension. And you have the potential to become a magician. Now calm down and grab that sliver of inspiration. Wang's voice seemed to carry some kind of magical power. The little girl really calmed down and continued to try following Wang's guidance. It really condensed a short spell whip. Although it looked malnourished, the orange light couldn't fool anyone. The unsmiling king smiled rarely. He unearthed for camouflage. The first apprentice with spell ability. Where are your parents? Wang asked. You camouflage received. The little girl's originally excited face immediately pulled down. Cautiously said, I don't have parents. I should be able to join, right? Wang fell silent. Immediately he took out a sling ring and stuffed it in the little girl's hand. You follow me to the front and practice new spells. From today onwards you are my disciple. Well, received an apprentice directly. The little girl naturally wouldn't refuse. She nodded vigorously. Follow Wang into the portal and go to the front of the team. Those who stayed next to him were all envious. There is really someone who can practice spells. I thought it was a fool, but I didn't expect. Maybe it's a show, that's right. Why is it such a coincidence that he is an orphan? I thought it was a fool, but I didn't expect. Maybe it's a show, that's right. Why is it such a coincidence that he is an orphan? Even with the facts in front of him, there are still keyboard warriors who are questioning. But before forming a large-scale consensus. What are you talking about? This is a benefit given to us by idols, that's right. My aptitude is too poor and you blame others. I can't poop myself. So it's because the center of the earth has no gravity. This kind of ungrateful person does not deserve to enjoy the love of idols. Get out those who questioned. Fans of Zhuge Lan spontaneously expelled from the central square. This scene was quickly captured by interested people and sent to the internet. The life experience of the little girl was also announced soon. Everything from being abandoned at birth to being a member of an orphanage can be traced. Some people went online to verify, all of which are true and effective. The birth of the first magician apprentice also proved the authenticity of Zhuge Lan magic apprentice training class. Let more people from the original hesitation embark on the journey to the capital. Then there was a storm on the internet. It's really possible to practice. It doesn't seem to be very difficult. Can we practice at home? People are in the training class, let me explain. According to the apprentice training manual, there is a formation in the training class, and there is a magician to guide the energy of another dimension. So it will be better to understand, in other words. You can also practice in other places, but the difficulty will increase a lot. It seems to be understandable in this way. It's not easy, just ask the lead magician this. Or if you ask anyway, I dare not, a group of cowards. Whoever asks the answer, I will reward 10,000. I award 100,000, as the saying goes. There must be a brave man under a heavy reward. In the central square that Madhu was in charge of, a young man rushed over and slapped him with his mobile phone. Master Magician, is it possible to train spells in a normal environment? Mordo frowned. It is very unpleasant for young people who prove to be disturbing the order. But he still replied with a sullen face, under ordinary circumstances. There is no enlightenment formation. And there is no magician to induce a group of energies. It is almost impossible to complete the enlightenment. Almost. The young man grasped the key point. Does that mean that if someone can complete enlightenment under ordinary circumstances, his ability must be very strong? Modu's face turned even worse. Is this person here to make trouble? That's right. That's right, Madhu said loudly, if there is such a person. His ability at least surpasses mine. Definitely it is impossible, no one can complete it. The young man didn't listen to the second half of the sentence, and turned and left excitedly. Go to the big guy to claim the reward at the same time. Madhu's partial answer is also widely circulated on the internet. If he can complete enlightenment in a normal environment, then his ability is enough to become a sorcerer supreme. As for the training manual for spell apprentices, there are no confidentiality measures. Now you can find the full version with just a random search on the internet. This allows many people who cannot leave their hometown to see a glimmer of hope and dream be the next sorcerer supreme. It's like buying a lottery ticket, most people get it. I can't be that lucky one, but most people hope again. I am that lucky one, and now it costs $2 to buy a lottery ticket. And this is a chance for Sorcerer Supreme. As long as he meditates at home. Simple and easy to use, the rate of return is sky high. The Magic Apprentice Introductory Manual has directly become a book that everyone must study. Countless people began to study at home, and it seemed to have become a national movement. The heat is so high, even surpassed the Winter Olympics. Corresponding, Zhuge Lan is the big move that has been exhausted, and it is also ushering in a wave of soaring. But because most people just hold the idea of trying, the mood swings are not large, and there are no more than 1,000, therefore. A large-scale system prompt was not formed, which was noticed by Zhuge Lan now. He was sitting on a leather sofa with his head up, and Jane was kneeling and buried her head up and down. Proved to Zhuge Lan how correct his original idea was. After half an hour, Zhuge Lan slammed down Jane's head, pressing down a few centimeters again. 10 seconds later, it was he who let go of his hand. Vomit. Cough, cough, cough. Jane coughed for half a minute before recovering with Zhuge Lan. Can't help but stare at Zhuge Lan fiercely. Is this what you asked for? Jane gritted her teeth. Zhuge Lan returned a strange look. Is this the first day you met me? Really, Shameless is invincible. Jane didn't talk nonsense in this regard, and instead showed fanaticism. I studied Camertage astronomy books, studied divination spells, and discovered a pattern. The so-called spells also rely on certain rules and operate according to the model. So as long as a database of spell models can be established, it is entirely possible to make it like a mobile phone. It can be controlled and used by ordinary people. I call it a scientific spell model. Jane talked endlessly. Zhuge Lan let out a breath. He is not interested in these. I thought. Jane ran over in the middle of the night. It's an enlightenment. Didn't expect to say this. Jane frowned and reiterated, as long as my scientific spell model can succeed, casting spells in the future will be as easy as one-click power on. That's good, Zhuge Lan encouraged. You work hard. I support you, simple. Can you be a little more perfunctory? Forget it, I won't tell you if you're not interested. Jane gave up and said. But if you want to continue this research, it's not enough to rely on me. I need more people from all walks of life to join this research together. But the administrators only allow me to read the books in camertage. Can you help me to intercede, please? Zhuge Lan had a strange expression on his face. Jane is infatuated with the sea of books. And she doesn't know that camertage has been under Zhuge Lan's management a few days ago. It's no wonder that when she came here just now, she was forced to eat kun by herself. And she accepted it submissively. It turned out that something was asked of him, so Zhuge Lan lay back. Yes, but it depends on how you convince me. Where did Jane not understand what Zhuge Lan was thinking? Although somewhat reluctantly, but for the great science, she resolutely chose to sacrifice herself. Take a deep breath and slam your head down. Oh. It's a deep throat when you come up, it's enough. It turns out Zhuge Lan has a good eye for seeing people. And Jian Tungkun's potential is indeed extraordinary. Very moist, unfortunately. Louise pushed open the door excitedly and shouted. Blue Eye compiled a list of victims, just follow this. The scene in front of her made Louise stand still in place. Ah, this, my mentor and good sister, unexpectedly. Sorry I didn't come at the right time. Louise was about to close the door and leave, bound by Zhuge Lan with a magic whip. No, you came just in time, vertical son. Zhuge Lan appeared in the living room. And Natasha Romanoff and Caecilius were waiting as usual. Send someone to guard them, don't go up and disturb them. Zhuge Lan instructed, just eat something. Let's go to Wakanda, okay, Natasha Romanoff replied. Although wondering why Zhuge Lan went back to Wakanda. A backward country. But she was very measured and didn't ask much. Let people serve the prepared breakfast, Japanese, Chinese, French and so on. There was a big table full. Zhuge Lan has been exercising all night. And he is also a little hungry, dine up. Natasha Romanoff secretly recorded Zhuge Lan's expression after eating every dish. White list of likes, black list of dislikes. She is ready to become Zhuge Lan's personal butler. Offer a meal. Zhuge Lan stood up and looked at Caecilius. Caecilius sensibly opened the portal. And the opposite was Wakanda's external capital. The entrance and exit are dilapidated. And there are almost no traces of high technology. Just like a backward primitive tribe, Zhuge Lan was amazed. If it weren't for the news, it would be hard to imagine that this place would be the most technologically advanced country on Earth. Natasha Romanoff, who followed, looked at each other suspiciously. It's not a question of Zhuge Lan. But I don't quite understand Wakanda's behavior. In the previous agreement, isn't it possible for me to choose a mine at will? Zhuge Lan said casually, here is a mineral called vibranium. And I want it. Shock emotion detected, big move point plus 1111. Natasha Romanoff's flaming red lips are slightly parted. And her sexy peach blossom eyes are wide open. Vibranium mine, the kind of ore from Roger's shield. Natasha Romanoff retorted subconsciously, are you sure? Isn't that thing an extraterrestrial meteorite? Zhuge Lan glanced at Natasha Romanoff a little displeased. Natasha Romanoff came to her senses and apologized quickly. Sorry, I shouldn't question you. I'll contact Fury right away to convey your meaning. Zhuge Lan turned his gaze away. The current so-called capital of Wakanda is nothing more than a cover-up. Zhuge Lan is too lazy to find out the real location of Wakanda. Let Fury negotiate, he wandered around casually. Although it is backward, there are also many original beauty. For example, because of poverty, a black girl who is naked. Don't underestimate the black girl. Some black girls with exquisite faces are attractive and charming. And I heard that they will appear abnormally fair in key parts. Just look forward to it. But when Zhuge Lan found the target, T'Chaka, king of Wakanda, rushed over in a hurry. The alien savior has come, Wakanda is really honored. T'Chaka tentatively said, I don't know about our Wakanda. What can I do for you? Zhuge Lan didn't even look at him. Don't pretend, I know there is a vibranium mine in Wakanda. Zhuge Lan went straight to the point, according to my agreement with you. It now belongs to me. Anger is detected, big move point plus 1099. T'Chaka looked angry. Both because of Zhuge Lan's ignorance, and because the vibranium mine was coveted. That's the foundation of Wakanda. How could it be possible to hand it over like this? I'm afraid you were fooled by someone. T'Chaka said coldly, look around here. Do we seem to have some kind of vibranium mine? This is. What about Tai Kai? Are you planning to renege on your debt? Zhuge Lan raised his eyebrows and asked. Is Fury also with this attitude? Nick Fury is just the director of SHIELD. He was ordered by the Security Council to guard the safety of the Earth. He is not qualified to interfere in Wakanda's internal affairs. T'Chaka evaded again. Not at all worried that Zhuge Lan would get angry. Others are afraid of Zhuge Lan, that is too weak. Their Wakanda has been developing for hundreds of years and has accumulated countless high-end technologies. So they really don't have to be afraid, Zhuge Lan nodded. He had already guessed that T'Chaka would not hand over the vibranium mine easily. Who would be willing to come up with someone else's lifeblood? So Zhuge Lan sighed and looked around. It's also a poor person. Obviously his country is so rich and powerful. But because of the so-called lurking, he has to endure a lifetime of poverty. Let me free you. Let me free you, Zhuge Lan raised his hand. A portal opened under his feet and he fell to an altitude of 10,000 meters. Susanoo is almost perfect. Fold your wings together and dive down. Like a meteorite that destroys the world. Countless people are terrified by it. T'Chaka on the ground looked ugly. But he didn't expect Zhuge Lan to disagree. Are you going to massacre the city? As the king of Wakanda, he obviously can't let it go so. T'Chaka stroked the Kimoyo beads on his wrist. An Okoye's projection appeared in midair. Open the energy shield at full power and guard Wakanda. King, are you sure? Okoye said in surprise. If the power is turned on at full power, Wakanda will be displayed in front of the world. It has been exposed. T'Chaka said helplessly, execute the order, yes. Next second a translucent energy barrier emerged, covering the entire capital like a canopy. Protect the safety of the capital only, Zhuge Lan, who fell from the sky, showed a hint of sarcasm at the corner of his mouth. Wanna stop him, hee. Susanoo passed through the energy barrier without any hindrance, carrying terrifying power. Landed in a Gia style and smashed down hard, boom. In this backward city used to cover up. The main body of the building didn't even have steel bars. The shockwave swept away and directly bulldozed all the buildings. The capital of Wakanda has fallen in an instant. A large number of Wakanda people were born in this catastrophe. Only clatter. The ruins at Zhuge Lan's feet were pushed away. And a Black Panther battle suit emerged. And the head armor faded away like a tide, revealing T'Chaka's old face, vibranium battle suit. Nanotechnology, no matter which one it is. They are all at the top of the Earth's technology. But even Wakandahich possesses such technological power. Never saw them in the Battle of New York, instead now. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. One fighter after another attacked. They used the energy injectors of the steel battle suit. And they also had the suspension function. Even the airborne weapons it carries are large-caliber energy cannons. This made Natasha Romanoff, who was protected by Caecilius and returned to the battlefield, stunned. If you want to reprimand Zhuge Lan for slaughtering the city at every turn, it is also stuck in your throat, something is wrong. This Wakanda's technological strength is seriously wrong. Think of what Zhuge Lan said before. Wakanda's technology ranks first on Earth. Now there is no moisture at all and I'm afraid it won't be the second place. At least 50 years of technology level. But soon she recovered. Understanding how things are going is beyond her ability to handle. He could only ask Caecilius, could you please open the portal again and let Fury come over? Rest assured, Wakanda has concealed so deeply, but has never contributed to the safety of the Earth. It must be the party that will be liquidated. Having said that, Caecilius shook his head firmly. Zhuge Lan didn't speak, he won't do anything unnecessary. Natasha Romanoff has also expected, not much nonsense. Take out the communicator and report the situation on the scene. Look at Zhuge Lan again. He looked at the fighters that were still increasing and sneered. This vibranium mine has enriched Wakanda. But it is hidden and never exposed. Avengers Alliance 1 Avengers, Age of Ultron SHIEL. D-Collapse, none of them ever showed up. Although this selfishness is in line with Zhuge Lan's character. But if the owner is not him, then he will be condemned. After all, don't worry about scarcity but inequality. Such a good thing must be shared, so here he is. T'Chaka also looked livid. Although he was ready to expose Wakanda, he didn't intend to expose so much. He understands the truth. Isn't this being hated? Why? T'Chaka was puzzled. Even if you expose Wakanda, but massacre a city, you will also be tolerated by the earth. Oh, what are you talking about? Zhuge Lan looked at Caecilius. Go, call out Ancient One. No, a portal opens. Ancient One walked out of it. With a refracted light behind her, she has been watching a show in the mirror world. Seeing everything destroyed around him. Ancient One sighed faintly. Open the Eye of Agamotto. Use the power of the time gem. And start rewinding the timeline of the entire city. The ruins on the ground are like rewinding images. Recovering back from being broken. The life that has died is also revived as time goes back. Everything seems to be back before the incident. And even everyone has no memory. I saw the 200-meter-high Susanoo and fighter jets all over the sky. They all screamed and scattered in all directions. Contributed another wave of big moves to Zhuge Lan. Restoring everything, Ancient One closed Eye of Agamotto. Saluted Zhuge Lan respectfully, turned and ran away. What? Excessive manipulation of time will produce time branches and bring serious consequences. What does that have to do with her, Ancient One? The matter was caused by Zhuge Lan. And the time regression was asked by Zhuge Lan. The sky is falling if Zhuge Lan can't stand it by himself. He can summon Emperor Weishan to stand up. Everything seems cumbersome. But it just happened within a few seconds. Zhuge Lan untied Susanoo and clapped his hands funny. What did you say, T'Chaka and Falk? And slaughter the city again and then go back in time. You are cheating. Hey, this is just great. Nothing happened to Zhuge Lan, only they left Wakanda leaked. And became the only ones to be criticized. T'Chaka's face turned cold. That being the case. Then let me Wakanda try your limit, fire. Then let me Wakanda try your limit, fire. The voice fell and the sky lit up. The energy cannons of many fighter jets ejected thick beams. And the only target was the seemingly defenseless Zhuge Lan. Boom, boom, boomed. The bombardment with saturated firepower rolled up smoke and dust at a height of 100 meters. The aftermath also bulldozed all the dilapidated buildings nearby. T'Chaka had already retreated to the edge. And the Kimoyu bead in his hand projected the battle zone in front of him. Which was empty. There is a bust of a young girl floating next to it. Which is Princess Shurui of Wakanda. No biological information was detected. So it was wiped out, T'Chaka asked. No. Shurui shook his head before the energy beam arrived. His biological information had disappeared. And the spatial information fluctuated abnormally. He escaped into another space. Call. A violent gust of wind blows the sand in the flying dust. A deep pothole was revealed. And Zhuge Lan stood in the center unscathed. You guys broke it yourself, don't blame me. Zhuge Lan spread his hands and said, Tusk, tusk, tusk. It's really ruthless. T'Chaka frowned, his eyes sharp and aggressive. Break into other spaces. I don't believe you can keep hiding. T'Chaka snapped, shoot alternately. I want to see how long you can resist. The energy cannons of the fighter jets fired again. But this time they did not tilt their heads. But fired in formation, seamlessly connecting firepower. Make sure Zhuge Lan is under fire at all times. Zhuge Lan nodded appreciatively. This T'Chaka was smarter than Chitauri's commander. And he immediately found the weakness of the aura of divine power. It could only last for 5 minutes at most. That's the limit of the kaleidoscope. Not a side effect like losing light. So it has not been purified by the system. But Zhuge Lan has another advantage over the one-eyed obituary. Susanoo, the beam of light fell on the Susanoo. And there was a piercing grinding sound. Nyuota's Susanoo was completely covered by the light beam. Fine and dense cracks appeared horizontally. and it seemed that they were about to break apart. The cracks were all healed in an instant. If it were someone else, they might not be able to bear it. But Zhuge Lan's ability has unlimited energy consume. As long as he can't break the defense with one hit. He can use up Wakanda's vibranium reserves, definitely. Zhuge Lan is not that boring, stay here with them. Kamui twisted. Wherever the kaleidoscope of the left eye can see, the space is distorted accordingly. And everything along the way is twisted into twists and swallowed. Vibranium, it can't resist the destructive power of space. Combat power, as long as it is not the speed of light. It cannot escape the dynamic vision of the kaleidoscope. Wakanda's powerful Ace Air Force was swallowed up in just a few seconds. But that's about it, they reacted. Turned on optical invisibility. And disappeared from Zhuge Lan's sight. Tried to get Zhuge Lan off target only. Zhuge Lan's eyes glowed with iridescent light. Killing the magic eye. Hidden fighter jets are already carrying dead lines and dead spots. Keep devouring. When more than half of the fighter group was swallowed, T'Chaka finally couldn't bear the loss. The Air Force is retreating. T'Chaka looked at Shu Rui. Hasn't the battle rhino arrived yet? Where are Akoi and the others? Arriving on the battlefield soon. There was a dull sound of hooves in the distance. And the pebbles on the ground were beating. A group of rhinos in vibranium armor rampaged through the city like bulldozers, each carrying several warriors on its back. Zhuge Lan watched the herd of rhinos surround him. The warriors leaped off the rhino, unfolded their defensive robes and held vibranium spears. Be ready, Zhuge Lan shook his head. I said old stuff, such a good resource is for you to use. Why do you want to fight in close quarters? Just like the group of melee magicians in Camertage. The ability is way too crooked. T'Chaka ignored him and waved his hand coldly. Wakanda hail, Akoi roared, the whole army charges. The fighting rhino took the lead. The vibranium armor wrapped around his body lit up. And the speed of a layer of energy emerging soared, oh. And this trick, Zhuge Lan is interested. I didn't turn on the blur. I wanted to see how powerful this little thing is. The huge tonnage carried terrifying power. And it recklessly rested on Suzanu's calf, boom. The vibranium armor shines with dazzling light, releasing all the energy of the fighting rhinoceros running at once. It actually let its rhinoceros horn pierce Suzanu's shell. Wow, it's kind of amazing, this thing charges up. Is it so powerful? More interestingly, in order to counter Zhuge Lan's blur, the group of fighting rhinos seemed to charge collectively. But their positions were staggered. Make it impossible for Zhuge Lan to continue blurring. Good combat strategy, pity, meet me this jerk. Good combat strategy. It's a pity that I met Zhuge Lan, a badass. Cancel the Suzanu, turn on the blur and hang in the air. Raise your hand, the magic arrows are condensed. Aiming at the dead point for a round of shooting. The vibranium armor is like glass. And the magic arrows will shatter when touched, turning into light spots and disappearing. But the armed fighting rhino was unscathed. The vibranium armor and the battle rhino are two individuals. And it is impossible to completely smash two of them in one shot. From this point of view, the vibranium armor still played a defensive role, consuming one spell arrow from Zhuge Lan only. This different dimensional energy was originally for nothing. There is something outside the dimension. And there is no consumption at all. The magic arrows flew out like raindrops, followed by the battle rhinoceros and dissipated into light spots all over the sky. Shock emotion detected, big move point plus 1111. Shock emotion detected, big move point plus 1099. Doubtful emotions detected, big move point plus 2333. T'Chaka and other Wakanda executives were all shocked. Impossible. Su Rui said in disbelief, the arrow is made of pure energy. It should be absorbed by vibranium. And it doesn't contain much energy. Why did it directly smash vibranium, let alone Su Rui? It is Caecilius in the mirror space, who is in a state of confusion. The spells used by Zhuge Lan are just the lowest magic weapons. Basically every apprentice of Camertage has mastered it. Why is it so powerful? Aside. Ancient One nodded thoughtfully. It's the eyes of the crown. Ancient One guided, the colorful light of the eyes of the crown should be the use of a certain ability. which can see through the fatal point of the object and achieve the effect of breaking the surface with a point. Ability, isn't it magic? Caecilius subconsciously asked. Ancient One shook his head. There is currently no such magic in the art of contract. Ancient One said with emotion, this is an ability that belongs exclusively to your majesty. Caecilius keenly noticed that what Ancient One said was not currently available. Thinking about the origin of the Book of Contract, Caecilius realized that the eyes are fiery. If he can obtain this contract magic, he will be able to win the enemy with one blow in the future. Aside, Natasha Romanoff looked at Zhuge Lan zinting wandering through the mirror space and disintegrated the Earth's highest combat force. And reverence in the words of the Ancient One and Caecilius. The recognition of Zhuge Lan's status became more and more clear. This is the boss that the Earth can't afford, no. She has to go to Fury to make plans. And she must not offend Zhuge Lan just for the sake of Wakanda. Thinking of this, Natasha Romanoff said to Caecilius, can you please take me back to the Trident building? It's the building I took you to for testing last time. Caecilius glanced at Ancient One. Seeing that Ancient One was concentrating on watching the battle, he raised his hand to open the portal, the sling ring, which he wears almost all the time now, after all. As a full-time door opener, you can't make your majesty wait even a second longer. In reality, Zhuge Lan, who chopped melons and vegetables, killed the troops that Wakanda considered powerful. More than 60% of the battle damage did not cause Zhuge Lan to lose even a hair. Wakanda's fighting spirit has been reduced to the extreme, and there has been a situation where he dare not charge. This made Okoye, the captain of the guard, extremely angry. The warriors of Wakanda defy death, charge. Continue to charge. Fight to the death and never retreat, however. Unlike the previous response, only her female guards responded this time, and only a small half the remaining. He looked at Zhuge Lan with fear, are you going to run away? Okoye scolded angrily, the guards obey orders. Those who dare to run away will be punished for treason. This thunderous method made some people firm their minds. Then he brush. Zhuge Lan fired a volley, and his firm mind collapsed again. As the first Wakanda fighters turned and fled, a widespread rout began. Even Okoye used the vibranium spear, firing rays to execute a dozen warriors, also to no avail. Forget it, T'Chaka shouted to Zhuge Lan, we lost, stop. Okoye froze in place, his eyes filled with disbelief lost. Zhuge Lan didn't even look at it, and continued to shoot spell arrows. Since it was you who said to start the war, then when the war ends, I have to listen to my master. Seeing this, T'Chaka smiled bitterly, unexpectedly. Wakanda has been dormant for hundreds of years. But the first battle when it was born was so embarrassing. Who can think of it but for the continuation of Wakanda? T'Chaka took off his Black Panther battle suit and walked towards Zhuge Lan defenselessly. Zhuge Lan just stopped, wanting to hear what price this product can afford. We lost, T'Chaka said sadly, stop the vibranium mine. Is yours, Zhuge Lan said. Regarding T'Chaka's surrender, Zhuge Lan said. How funny, he casually threw out a spell arrow. Has your brain been broken? The vibranium mine is my master's, and according to the agreement between me and your planet, since you are the first to do it, it's fine if I kill you all. When the time comes, the vibranium mine and your technology will all be mine. Fear is detected, big move point plus 2,999 like. Is that the case? Although it was Zhuge Lan who provoked first, destroyable cities have been restored. Do they have proof of anything furthermore? In the face of such a powerful Zhuge Lan, what is the use of evidence to provoke Zhuge Lan? Stand on the opposite side of the earth. Wakanda is inherently secluded and does not participate in the common good of the world. I believe that in order to appease Zhuge Lan's anger, the Security Council will sell Wakanda without any hesitation. Think about these. T'Chaka found sadly that he didn't even have the bargaining chips to stop Zhuge Lan. Or rather have but not willing to pay only. If you don't want to now, the country will be destroyed. We Wakanda surrender, T'Chaka roared. Wakanda is willing to be your vassal, fight for your will. Zhuge Lan's killing action paused. He looked at T'Chaka in surprise. Is the old boy very willing, King? Akoi said incredulously. The warriors of Wakanda would rather die in battle, never. Shut up, T'Chaka yelled, I'm still the king now. Unless you want to rebel, you don't need to say anything. Akoi glared at T'Chaka. And the veins on the back of his hand, holding the vibranium spear, burst out. After a short silence, raising her vibranium spear, she raised her arms and shouted, Wakanda hail. Then he rushed to Zhuge Lan without hesitation. With unwavering faith in his eyes, that look. Zhuge Lan had seen it on Caecilius, what a pity. Akoi's faith is for Wakanda, cannot be used for oneself. Zhuge Lan stretched out a Kamui shuriken and threw it to devour Akoi. As for others following the charge, a round of magic arrows shot and turned into bright spots all over the sky. T'Chaka just watched in silence the whole time. Tears of humiliation streaming from the corners of his eyes. Backbone, others can have it, but he can't have it. Otherwise, the whole of Wakanda may be buried here today. Deal with the hassle. Zhuge Lan looked at T'Chaka with a playful look. Why did you go early? He had directly agreed to hand over the vibranium mine before, so it wouldn't be such a trouble. Wakanda is the most powerful country on Earth. Why is this my vassal country? Zhuge Lan added salt to the wound. Sorrow is detected, big move point plus 2099. What else? Let you have a good time. The strongest air force and army are crushed by Zhuge Lan alone. Still the kind of easy freehand brushwork. Behind it is the mysterious camouflage. Can Wakanda's energy dome withstand Ancient One's sword that shattered the sky? How many swords can you bear? Is that the full effort of Ancient One? Multiple factors stacked together. The moment Wakanda was targeted by Zhuge Lan, it no longer belonged to them. Want to understand the whole story? T'Chaka's face suddenly aged, and his few black hair was pale enough to be seen by the naked eye. Closing his eyes said in grief and indignation, Wakanda is willing to surrender, talking. His right hand covered the sharp claws of the Black Panther battle suit, and he was about to know himself by raising his hand. Hey, Zhuge Lan yelled to stop. If you take the lead in surrendering, the other tribes will be able to submit. I'm not in the mood to conquer them little by little. T'Chaka committed suicide, not in the mood to conquer. That is definitely violent destruction, he can't die now. And also to help Zhuge Lan integrate Wakanda's forces. And bow down to Zhuge Lan to be eligible to die. T'Chaka gritted his teeth and scattered his claws. And lowered his head to Zhuge Lan, I get it, I'll integrate Wakanda for you. Humiliation detected, big move point plus 4399. Humiliation detected, big move point plus 4399. Humiliation detected, big move point plus 4399, Tusk. Mood swings so much. But you can understand it if you think about it. Check out the detailed list, a batch of humiliation grief and fear were added. And the values were all around 500 or 600. Large amount in full wealth. It seems that there is a new direction for obtaining big moves. Seeing the end of the battle, Caecilius appeared at the right time. What about Natasha Romanoff? Zhuge Lan asked. She went back to the Trident building to find the one-eyed man in the windbreaker. Caecilius reported. Do you need your subordinates to call her back? Zhuge Lan couldn't help looking at Caecilius. One-eyed man in trench coat unexpectedly. Caecilius had a hand in getting his nickname, Go to the Trident building, yes. Caecilius raised his hand and opened the door within half a second. The magic of the portal is already at its peak. Zhuge Lan is about to step over, boom. With a sonic boom cloud, Clark cut through the sky and came to Zhuge Lan. Zhuge Lan stopped and looked over. I thought you wouldn't come down. Zhuge Lan laughed and said. I've been watching the sky for so long. Why did you come down after this is over? T'Chaka cast hopeful eyes. If Superman is willing to stand by Wakanda, there may be a chance for a comeback, but I also discovered the existence of Wakanda a long time ago. Clark said calmly, but they couldn't avoid the crisis several times. Obviously, they didn't want outsiders to participate in them. So I didn't come. Listen to this, why are you so weird? I didn't expect you, Clark, to be such a Superman. T'Chaka's hopeful gaze dimmed. And he sighed helplessly. It was all done by himself. Zhuge Lan couldn't help laughing. In that case, let's go and show you something interesting. Zhuge Lan walked into the portal first. The location where Caecilius opened the door is very interesting. It is on the top of the Trident building. There is less surveillance here than in the building. And they will not be discovered immediately. Convenience, Zhuge Lan, absolutely, who is going to see? But unfortunately, Kangdeng. A steel battlesuit fell from the sky, opening the steel mask to reveal Stark's handsome old face. Hey, I heard that there is a country with higher technology than Stark. Stark questioned. Is today April Fool's Day in the universe? Zhuge Lan glanced at the guy but didn't answer. Clark, who came after him, said, Do you know Pierce? It's the Secretary General of the Security Council. Clark nodded. Use your clairvoyant eyes to see where that thing is. Clark blinked and his eyes flicked to his feet. Such a coincidence. Caecilius, who had just closed the door, consciously drew a circle. A portal opened on the ground. Just as the right arm of Pierce's platform was seen, a holographic projection in front of him went out. It's like saying goodbye. This made Stark, who leaned over his head, couldn't help but widen his eyes. Nazi salute. Zhuge Lan turned on the blur and his body sank, looking at Pierce with a cloudy complexion and withdrawing his hand. He smiled, a Hydra military salute to be precise. Unfortunately, Fury also happened to push the door open, followed by Natasha Romanoff and Hill. Hearing Zhuge Lan's words, his face became serious. What does the Hydra salute mean? Anger is detected, big move point plus 1099. Pierce frowned wildly. Who would have thought? He just contacted other smugglers and asked about Wakanda's information, just to salute and bid farewell. A skylight was opened above his head. He silently moved towards the desk, but was shot by a beam of light at his feet. Don't try to get close to the siren. Stark squinted. Just stand still and say it. Fury took a lunge and stopped in front of Pierce. Seems like trying to protect him. Instead, he took out 3 electromagnets and threw them at Pierce's feet. Signal blocking device. Now even if Pierce has a communication device on his body, there will be no news. Hill and Natasha Romanoff also temporarily removed all 3 sets of alarm devices on the desk. What are you doing? Pierce yelled angrily. Are you suspicious of me? Nick Fury detected panic. Big move point plus 1099. I only trust my own judgment, Fury said blankly. So, who can explain what happened just now? Stark raised his hand. Project the image of Pierce saluting just now. Anger is detected. Big move point plus 1299. Pierce scowled, his eyes wandering to the frantic brainstorm. In the end, his gaze was fixed on Zhuge Lan. Help me, half of the world is yours. This is the only breaking point Pierce can think of. Zhuge Lan is not from Earthhand. He values profit very much. Then bribe him. Fury's face was extremely ugly. Pierce admitted it. Then he and Stark looked at Zhuge Lan vigilantly. If Zhuge Lan sided with Pierce, even with Superman on the scene, Fury wasn't sure. Can't say. Fury puts his hands in his pockets and grabs the quantum annunciator, his fingers resting on the fire button. Only summon her. And Zhuge Lan, who was the focus, looked at Fury with a half smile. Bidding time. What price do you offer if I don't sell? Zhuge Lan. Bidding time. What price do you offer if I don't sell? Depressed emotions detected. Big move point plus 1111. Excitement detected. Big move point plus 2333. Fury didn't even have time to speak. Pierce couldn't wait to say, 30% of the countries in this world are controlled by our Hydra. The Security Council is also the voice of our Hydra. Nick Fury is just a shield I put out, puppet chief. Even the ownership of Wakanda. You have to come to me to discuss. And I can't offer you a bargaining chip that gives you half of the world. Fright and anger detected. Big move point plus 6666. Fury stared at Pierce calmly, never expecting that this once kind elder had such a face hidden behind him. Helpless, Fury gritted his teeth and said decisively, the Security Council is rotten. SHIEL. D will take its place, and you will be the new Secretary General. I have a set of light-speed engine technology in my hand. which is the only one in the universe. And the Carey Empire bought it at a high price. This is Agent Hill. She has also admired you for a long time and is willing to be your woman. My subordinate Phil Coulson recently hired a female agent named Sky, who is Asian as your complexion and is also your admirer. I don't know if you are Captain Marvel Carol. Let me introduce her to you. I built a base on the moon and gave it to you, good guy, in order to prevent Zhuge Lan from defecting. Fury really racked his brains and threw out all the benefits he could think of. And the focus is on rights resource beauties. Beauties kung fu for a while. He promised 6 or 7 girls, all of whom sound familiar. I know Zhuge Lan very well. Seeing that Zhuge Lan was listening seriously, Pierce was also anxious. I can also send these women. Pierce said loudly, all the women in Hydra. All belong to your excellency, correct? Baron Strucker, it's nice to have a female test subject. Besides, 2 old foxes at this moment. In order to win over Zhuge, Lan took out his old background. Zhuge Lan just listened with a smile on his face, looking like he was sitting on the floor waiting to buy. That's why Zhuge Lan didn't find Pierce secretly to recover Hydra. How can doing things in a sneaky way be as cool as robbing in an open and above-board manner? And Hydra is not a good bird. Maybe there will be a thunderstorm at any time. Then his reputation will be rotten, after all. We will use the Earth as our base camp in the future. So this kind of stain should not be allowed so. From the very beginning, Pierce is doomed, unable to buy Zhuge Lan, but Pierce and Fury don't know. Only then did the current scene of the highest price wins come into being. Till the end, Pierce made the final decision. Hydra wishes you to be its new master. In the future, the entire Earth will be your territory. Everything on Earth, including me, will be your private property. Definitely also includes those women and properties in Fury's mouth. Lore as soon as this remark came out. Whatever terms Fury offered, they paled in comparison. But Fury didn't give up, Lightspeed engine. Captain Marvel and those bloody women. You can't control them, Fury looked at Hill. Hill drew his gun tacitly, causing Pierce to take half a step back in fright. But the gun was not pointed at him, the key now is Zhuge Lan's attitude. Otherwise Pierce is dead. And there will be another smuggler to win him over. Hill chose to stick the muzzle of the gun on his snow-white swan's neck. Right where his chin was, if Hydra rules the world. I would rather die than surrender, Hill said firmly. Death mood is detected, big move point plus 1111. This is for real, but in return it was Pierce's sneer. Just listen to Pierce say. You really have no weakness. Maria Hill, you are the one I sent to SHIEL. D to monitor Fury, I know your life experience well. Your relative is friends neighbors classmates. As long as you dare to commit suicide I will not kill them. But brainwash them into Hydra warriors and let them kill each other. Fear is detected, big move point plus 1099. There was no change on Hill's face. But there was a storm in his heart. The threat worked well for her. The original firm look in his eyes also has the momentum to resolve. At this point, Fury couldn't handle it. He could only turn his gaze to Clark. Have no idea. Can Superman beat Zhuge Lan? Clark read Fury's eyes but didn't respond. Papa. It was Zhuge Lan who clapped his hands and gave Pierce an appreciative look. This made the hearts of Fury and the others thump. Could it be? I have to say. Hydra's philosophy is very similar to mine to achieve the end by using the means. Zhuge Lan admitted, especially because you are despicable enough. You must be a good subordinate to deal with troublesome things. Pierce smiles like a chrysanthemum. The wrinkles on his face seem to squirm. Resolving worries and problems for the master. These are what a subordinate should do, that's good. Zhuge Lan nodded, as the price of allegiance. You will give me a list of Hydra, Pierce's smile froze. Hydra list, can this be given casually? The vigilance of the old fox made him think. Maybe Zhuge Lan is trying to cheat him. Kill people after getting the list. Just when Pierce was in trouble. The kaleidoscope of Zhuge Lan's left eye turned. And the space fury was torn apart. Swallowing him whole, Stark's pupils shrank. There was no time to cover the steel mask. And raising his hand to Pierce was an energy cannon. When It was Zhuge Lan who spread out his Susanoo and easily blocked it. Together with the follow-up attacks of Hill and Natasha Romanoff. They all collapsed. Superman, what are you waiting for? Stark yelled angrily. Zhuge Lan has already stood on the opposite side of the earth. Hurry up and kill him, talking. Stark dived close to the ground, bypassing Susanoo and almost killing Pierce, in no mood. A teleportation door opened in front of him. Before he had time to brake, he rushed into it and plunged into the snow mountain. Wait for him to rush out, the portal has already been closed. JRVIS, where is this? Sir, the coordinates show that you are in Antarctica. Damn it, Stark was impotent and furious. I hate magic. After this incident, we must develop an anti-magic battle suit. The movement of the hand is not slow. Turn on the navigation and move forward at full speed. And in the Trident building, Hill and Natasha Romanoff were pinched by Susanoo. Clark, who was the only hope, stood there without making a move. He just looked at Zhuge Lan, knowing what he was thinking. Superman, what are you still hesitation? Natasha Romanoff shouted, if you don't do it, there is no chance. Hill wriggled his fingers hard and typed information on the communicator blindly. Do. Alarm bells go off throughout the building. But Pierce took out his phone and with just a few clicks, the siren stopped abruptly. Meet Zhuge Lan's eyes. Pierce didn't have a hesitation this time. When he came to the desk and swiped his right hand, several folders were holographically projected. Click one of the folders to open the triple authentication of fingerprint, voiceprint and iris. A dense list was revealed. Natasha Romanoff just glanced over. All the names are very familiar, such as a century-old Keeble members of the United States, members of the Security Council, and even heads of state. Are they all from Hydra? Boom. Rumlow led the team to break in, even facing Zhuge Lan and Clark. He raised his gun without any hesitation. Stop. Pierce yelled, from today on, Zhuge Lan is our new master. Don't be rude. Rumlow and other members of the SHIELD Quick Response Force put away their guns and stood aside silently, following Sitwell, Garrett, and other SHIELD agents. They obtained information one after another and stood quietly aside. Seeing Natasha Romanoff and Hill's scalp tingle, SHIELD. Now that it has been infiltrated to such an extent, SHIELD Snake Shield. Pierce copied the list to a USB flash drive and handed it to Zhuge Lan. Master, here is a list of all members of Hydra, including like the Winter Soldier trend, their passwords. With it, you can command any Hydra member and be one of the real snakeheads. Zhuge Lan took the USB drive and raised his eyebrows in displeasure. Only Zhuge Lan looked a little displeased. Is he just one of the snakeheads? Pierce knows how to read words and expressions, and immediately explained. Hydra has huge branches and SHIELD is just one of them, which belongs to my leadership. Another Baron Strucker with the potential to specialize in the human body. There is Whitehall, who sneaks to study the Inhumans. There are also old guards who welcome the ancient gods. But as long as the Insight Plan is implemented, they will soon be under your command. You must be the supreme leader of the Earth in the future. There is no one. Zhuge Lan nodded in understanding. He said casually, then you follow the plan and continue to implement the Insight Plan. Yes, Master. Pierce said respectfully, the related women and products will be sorted out as soon as possible during the summer vacation and sent to you. Zhuge Lan waved his hand, motioning for Caecilius to open the door. Because the Susanoo opened by Zhuge Lan still held the two daughters of Hill in his hand, Caecilius was very considerate and opened the portal from Susanoo's feet. The landing point is in the small island country of Sakura, an uninhabited wasteland. Boom. Gia landed, and this wasteland was completely abandoned. Zhuge Lan left the two girls casually and dismissed Susanoo and looked at Clark, who was following. You didn't do anything just now, which surprised me. I just trust my instincts, Clark said calmly. You made your choice before you started, didn't you? Zhuge Lan was even more surprised. If you don't know, Superman only has clairvoyance ability, but no mind-reading ability. Zhuge Lan wondered if Clark had read his thoughts. Well, now. Zhuge Lan released a vortex from his right eye. releasing the engulfing fury. It's just that his condition is not good. His body is full of holes the size of fists, and there is a burning smell of barbecue on the edges. Zhuge Lan waved a ray of holy light in disgust, landed on Fury's body, and fell into his body, filling the hole in his body instantly, like never before. Holy light of oxite, even dead men can be resurrected. Restoring just a few holes is easy, Natasha Romanoff. Zhuge Lan ordered, "Don't arrange a barbecue for me in the near future." "Yes, master," Natasha Romanoff complied as an agent. After listening to Clark's words and seeing Fury, who is still alive, how can he not know the situation? As for Fury's hole, do not forget, in Zhuge Lan's extra-dimensional space, now it's full of Chita Swiss soldiers. "I'll keep the promise," Fury promised. "Send that Carter's first." Zhuge Lan threw the USB flash drive over. "Don't die in battle then." "No problem," Fury didn't finish his sentence. Zhuge Lan glanced over and a portal appeared under his feet, and he was sent away directly. Caecilius himself was very sensible and jumped in directly. Natasha Romanoff and Hill are both agents. Do we need to talk about the development of the next story? Clark was also very sensible, and was about to leave in the air. Before leaving, he asked, "You seem to be deliberately starting a war between Hydra and Hild. Hey, don't say it. This guy who looks like he has only muscles has a pretty good brain. 2. The super brain can learn the knowledge of several galaxies. How could Superman be an idiot? It's just that the opponents I usually meet are too weak. If it's not worth his brains, he can just push it all the way." And Zhuge Lan deliberately provoked the war. "By the time let Hydra and Hild know that he is the key. Harvest a wave of big moves, what does it matter?" Zhuge Lan hugged the two girls and said indifferently, "With this list, how many people can Hild save from dying?" Clark smiled. "Are you thinking about Hild? If Hild finds traces of Hydra and cannot tell friend from foe, based on what I know about Fury, he'll probably just destroy Hild and never give Hydra a chance. Where are there so many conditions for you?" Zhuge Lan gave Clark an appreciative look. "A quick brain is a smart one. It's a pity to lose such a useful organization." Hill and Natasha Romanoff looked at each other. Hild.'s evaluation here by Zhuge Lan turned out to be easy to use. At once, easy to use, the description is very apt. Clark agreed, "It's not good for fighting, but the logistics are doing well." I said, "Do you have to fly in the sky to chat with me?" Zhuge Lan motioned his eyes left and right. "You can see that. I'm a little busy right now." Clark cast a look that men could understand, turned around and flew towards the sky. A portal opened under Zhuge Lan's feet, and the two girls landed on the big bed in the bedroom. He bounced on the mattress and stood firmly on the ground. Zhuge Lan slapped the two women's buttocks. Natasha Romanoff winked back and made her way to the bathroom consciously. "By the way," he pulled away the stiff Hill. Zhuge Lan chuckled, "This mature big sister is caring." Immediately followed the first battle with Hill. The long-legged lady will be on the sink as an agent. Hill not only has a pair of long legs, but also the flexibility of hanging dancers. There are not too many postures that can be developed. Just seriously inexperienced for the first time. There was also a colleague, Natasha Romanoff, who couldn't let go. Lead 2. Shyness detected, big move point plus 1299. Embarrassment detected, big move point plus 1299. Excitement detected, big move point plus 1299. Tusk. Hill, you know how to add points to yourself. At the same time, it's more tempting too, isn't it? The decisive battle is not over until the morning. Hill fell into a deep sleep. Natasha Romanoff dragged her tired body and continued to dress Zhuge Lan. After taking a bath, she changed into business attire and waited for instructions. "I'm not Grandit," Zhuge Lan laughed and said. "You've worked hard all night, go and rest." He has the self-healing ability to refresh his body. Natasha Romanoff can't. Natasha Romanoff wanted to say that she could hold on, but on second thought, it is rare for Zhuge Lan to show kindness. If he rejects it, it will be difficult for him to do so next time. He nodded and said, "I will arrange for a new colleague to take over and leave." Zhuge Lan hummed and began to enjoy breakfast. Today is just a simple 100 million point French meal. The portion is small but delicate. It's a bit like a Dongguang meal. The price difference is dozens of times and the serving speed of French food is notoriously slow. Even when Natasha Romanoff booked a French restaurant, Caecilius opened a portal to the back kitchen. This meal took more than half an hour during this period. Natasha Romanoff also picked up a blonde girl through the portal. A pair of long legs are comparable to Hill. And there is also the unique blonde buttocks of the United States woman. Natasha Romanoff handed over the tablet and explained for a few minutes. It is to leave quietly. Zhuge Lan has been enjoying delicious food. But he didn't find out, wait until it's over. He casually ordered, arrange a Dongguang meal tomorrow. Yes, Natasha Romanoff's voice has a sense of charm, which is completely different from this refreshing tone. Zhuge Lan turned around, and the blonde returned a professional smile. Sharon Carter report to you, oh. It seems that this was also sent by Fury for Zhuge Lan to enjoy. But the battle with the Hill girls is over. And Zhuge Lan is now in sage time. He just nodded flatly and even yawned. This made Sharon a little surprised. Please report that this guy still. Her charm is not enough to make Zhuge Lan's heart beat. Where is the progress now? Zhuge Lan asked casually. Sharon turned on the tablet and started the report in an orderly manner. Ms. Daisy's foundation is officially in operation, providing humanitarian assistance to all victims of nuclear sewage persecution. Ms. Foster urged you earlier, and you need to implement her experimental project as soon as possible. Wakanda. The Security Council has declared to all countries that the small island country of Sakura is included in your territory. Fury holds the Hydra list and is calling the Avengers, as well as other superheroes, and is expected to launch a general attack tomorrow. In addition, Pierce also sent a list of the beauties in the world he collected. Would you like to check it out now? Rao is Zhuge Lan, who is in the sage's time, and he is interested in hearing the words. Sharon kept her expression on the face, but secretly sighed in her heart, really. This product is the same as the report, it is a proper pervert. As for why just now, I didn't show my thoughts to myself. Thinking of Hill, who was taken away last night. He didn't show up today. Natasha Romanoff is that tired look again. Although there is no actual combat experience yet, Sharon already has a rough guess in her heart. The first reaction in my heart was to secretly breathe a sigh of relief. It's not that I have no charm. It's the current Zhuge Lan who doesn't respond to women for the time being. Strange desire to win. There are many thoughts in my heart. Sharon is not slow in her hands, controlling the tablet computer, projecting three-dimensional images one by one, surrounding Zhuge Lan. Sexy, cute, mature, enchanting, pure, lively. Everything but Zhuge Lan's eyes never fluctuated much. They were all unfamiliar faces, and their names had never been heard. This kind of non-female support characters will basically not produce too many big moves. Tilling them dozens of times is not as good as Hill and the others once. No matter how beautiful and well-figured she is worthless in Zhuge Lan's eyes, no way, no way. No one really thinks that Zhuge Lan is a lecher, right? He is purely for the sake of collecting more big moves, That's it only. Zhuge Lan searched a big circle. Female superheroes like Supergirl, Catwoman, and Spider-Woman didn't appear. Didn't Pierce handle them yet? Aren't there any famous female superheroes? Zhuge Lan asked directly. Sharon shook her head decisively. Those female superheroes are either anonymous or strong enough not to accept threats. It can't be done in a short time, is it like this? Zhuge Lan seriously doubted that Pierce didn't care. Otherwise, Wonder Woman has been active since World War I until now. Batman can find people through cobweb horse trails. But Hydra can't. Zhuge Lan waved his hand in frustration. Search directly for Wanda Maximoff to see if it's on the list. The voice fell, a pure and pleasant face jumped out, and the simple shirt bulged high. And it was hard to imagine the scale of it. It's Wanda. That's her, Zhuge Lan said, send her here. No problem, the order has been placed. Sharon calmly said, Wanda Maximoff is one of the test subjects of Hydra Baron Strucker. and has a twin brother. Do you want to place an order together, Zhuge Lan? Order? What kind of weird adjective is this? But Sharon is indeed more thoughtful. Wanda's appearance, figure and potential are all superb. And she will definitely be at the forefront of Zhuge Lan's harem in the future. Her brother Quicksilver, her brother-in-law, couldn't be left to die at the Hydra base. Bring one piece, you can see how to arrange it, yes. Sharon responded, the time for negotiation and transportation is estimated to be available tonight. Stop. Zhuge Lan is also convinced by Sharon's adjective that regards people as goods. But he has a descendant of Carter, a high-level agent of SHIELD. Is impossible for Sharon to have such a low EQ. Everything happened for a reason. I'm afraid it's not because she acted like this. Did you do it on purpose? Zhuge Lan said angrily. Why? I already like Rogers with thick eyebrows and big eyes. And I feel resentful about being given to me for world peace. Surprise emotion detected, emotion value plus 1099. Bingo, you guessed it. The current timeline is after the Avengers Alliance. And Rogers also woke up for a while. Sharon had been a neighbor of Rogers as a monitoring and protection agent before. Presumably. I also have a different feeling for this spirit of the United States. That's how I got the vocabulary. I hope to use these little tricks to make Zhuge Lan tired of her taking the initiative to drive him away. It's really a little clever, but Zhuge Lan said. He tugged on his shirt and the buttons flew off. Grabbing Sharon's arm, he pressed it against the wall. And they could clearly perceive the heat of breath hitting their faces. Although Sharon didn't dodge, she also looked stubborn. A look of you can get my body but you can't get my heart, ah. Reluctant, right? Zhuge Lan grinned and said. I don't care if the twisted melon is sweet or not. Just quench your thirst, say it. Zhuge Lan kissed it directly. I wanted to take a rest. Since you're looking for something, I'll do it for you on the spot. Aside. Dorman Caecilius turned around and left consciously. And closed the door intimately. Finally, open a mirror space on the periphery. Guarantee that the interior will never be disturbed. Just this set of silky little tricks. I'm afraid I haven't thought much about it in private. There are 3 poles in the sun. Zhuge Lan opened the portal and walked out, casting admiring glances at Caecilius. The young man is very sensible. Caecilius bowed his head respectfully. This is what a younger brother should do. Go to the Trident building. Zhuge Lan ordered, this Pierce will not live long. So we need to squeeze out more value, yes. Caecilius' sling ring didn't leave his hand. He raised his hand and opened the door with a circle. Go through the portal. Pierce was in a video conference. And when he saw the portal appear, hung up immediately. Get up and stand sideways by the portal. Master, the woman you want is already on the way. Pierce said, but Sokovia is a bit far away. And it will take some time to fly here. Zhuge Lan nodded casually. Let Caecilius take Jane over. The order was issued, in the name of the Security Council. You directly allocate funds to build a large-scale astrophysical research institute in the Himalayas. Jane, give him the list of people and equipment you need. My request is that people and equipment will be available within a day. Understand, build a research institute in a day. Or in the Himalayas. Pierce looked perplexed. Master. This person and the instrument are easy to talk about. And they can be sent to the Himalayas in 1 day. But the research institute. Even the speed of infrastructure construction in Longshan Kingdom will take several months. And it will take only 1 day. Zhuge Lan naturally knew that it was a bit of a fantasy. But who told you Hydra, only 1 day of life left? Definitely. The reason why he made such an outrageous request naturally has a solution. That is, building a new research institute is time-consuming and labor-intensive. So Zhuge Lan chose to move the ready-made. Zhuge Lan looked at Caecilius. How big can your portal be opened? Caecilius understood instantly. He blamed himself. The subordinate's portal was not specialized before. And it couldn't be used to teleport the entire research institute. Hammertage can do Thake Sept for Sorcerer Supreme. The only one is the king. Oh. Ancient One can do it. Zhuge Lan is not surprised. But the king. It seems that this guy can become a librarian in the future. And he also has a hand. Then inform the king and let him take charge of this matter. Zhuge Lan ordered, I want to see the completion of the research institute before sunset tonight.
Yes.
Caecilius immediately opened the portal and dived in. Lan, are you too nervous before sunset? Jane whispered, actually it's not that urgent. It takes time to get the personnel and equipment running in. And it can probably be relaxed too, Jane was talking. He found Zhuge Lan staring at him with displeasure in his eyes. The voice also gradually lowered until he shut up. There will be no next time, Zhuge Lan said calmly. I don't like being questioned about my decision. Even if it's my woman, oh got it. Jane said aggrievedly. She was clearly thinking of Zhuge Lan at this time. Caecilius returned to the office with the king and a little girl. Your Majesty. Wang crossed his hands and bowed, I can't teleport a whole area yet. But the research institute should be a group of buildings. And I can teleport it in batches, enough. Zhuge Lan waved his hand, let's leave this matter alone. After Zhuge Lan said that, what else could Pierce do? Immediately Rumla was called. As the second in command of SHIEL. He is also a hard worker who can do it without forcing it. With his cooperation, the progress must be fast. Jane and Wang left with Rumlo. According to Zhuge Lan's order, Caecilius brought Helen Zhao back. This made Pierce's heart skip a beat again. This time it's nano research. Zhuge Lan said, but this time you don't need to provide a research institute. Wakanda has the best ones. You just need to recruit talents there. Pierce breathed a sigh of relief. It's just some people, there's no problem. Pierce said to himself, sit well. You follow up with this lady and meet all her demands. Indian bald Sitwell walked in. Looked at Helen Zhao after a respectful response. And bowed to signal her to go first. Zhao Helen was a little confused. This was brought over suddenly. And the establishment of a nano research institute. Although this was indeed Zhuge Lan's promise. She didn't expect it to be so soon and or let the Secretary General of the World Security Council handle the recruitment alone. Look what Pierce looks like. Very respectful to Zhuge Lan God. Zhuge Lan is too handsome, right? Emotions detected, big move point plus 1520. Zhao Hailan, this little girl, is quite easy to bribe. Zhuge Lan put his hands on Zhao Hailan's shoulders. And the system prompted the screen to swipe. Emotions detected, big move point plus 1520. Emotions detected, big move point plus 1520. Emotions detected, big move point plus 1520, well. Found a new way to brush big tricks, waited for a while. The trend of swiping screens has slowed down. And Zhuge Lan was the one who spoke. Don't worry about asking for people. Even if you need supplies, never mind. Caecilius, you follow along. Although Zhuge Lan didn't say it clearly. Caecilius realized it instantly. Assist the godmother of the future to squeeze out Hydra's wool. Zhao Helen turned her head 3 times with each step. She has been obsessed with research. How can she resist the charm of Zhuge Lan? Zhuge Lan has no doubts if he thinks about it now. Zhao Hailan will definitely cooperate actively only. After 2 consecutive battles, Zhuge Lan really didn't have that idea. Watching Helen Zhao leave the office. Finally, only Zhuge Lan and Pierce were left. Zhuge Lan smiled kindly and said, then. Let me inspect it now, my loyal subordinates. Open the all-hands video conference. I want all Hydra members to know that their king is me. Pierce was a little skeptical because of Zhuge Lan. Hearing the words, I was a little relieved. Zhuge Lan is willing to summon all Hydra. Which is a good thing, it's officially sidelined. At the same time, let all Hydra know how thick their snake heads are. As for the can't wait woolen just now. Perhaps in the eyes of Zhuge Lan, a visitor from the universe. The small research institute is just like the house on the earth. It is a very ordinary small object, Pierce made up his mind. Doesn't seem to have thought about it. Zhuge Lan's all-hands meeting, this time is also trying to squeeze Hydra's wool. And we still have to make a big wave.